And we are live. Nice. We do have a stream delay on about 3 minutes. I think that was added just so no one is looking at the official stream while it's going on. But for all intents and purposes, we are live.
Okay.
All right. So welcome in everyone to uh, the first stream of the LEPL Season 3 regular season. It is the day 2 stream. Unfortunately, we had a couple games moved around, so we didn't do a day 1 stream and a featured matchup yesterday. But hopefully, you'll forgive us when you see what matchup we have in store for today. It should be a good one. Just making sure that we are actually live and everything's coming through all right. Looks like yes, with the delay, we are going through okay. Perfect. All right. Well, without further ado, we'll get into a bit of a pre-show here for you guys. Just to talk about what teams we have coming up and what to expect from them. I'll also share my screen with you here. I've got GP with me in the pre-show, so you can
Okay. Sounds good.
share some input on the teams, as I think you might know a little bit more about some of these players, depending on who they are and what they have played. There's a couple of familiar
Yeah.
names in here, so
Yeah.
all right. So regular season day 2, the LEPL season 3. It's the Crown of Champions. That is the theme for this season with the Demacian, I don't know, changes that have taken over the Rift. So should be pretty interesting. Today we have Gapplebees or Gap versus Seals Kids 2 or SK2. Let's get into the teams. So first up we have Gapplebees or Gap, and they are headed by Donnie, who is a recognizable face in the LEPL. I think that they were they a captain for one of the other seasons or were they a player? I can't remember, but I know that they were involved
He
this
was a
season.
player. He was a player in both other tournaments. He was like a player who typically gets snagged up pretty quick in the tournament, though. He's usually first or second round to go.
Yeah, makes sense. I
So,
mean, there's a reason he is a strong mid laner. I think he plays a lot of melee mid laners. Big Yasuo Akali player. Also got the Yone in there. Although recently he has been playing a whole bunch of Tristana, so maybe we will see some of that. A heads up to anyone who isn't aware of the LEPL, I'll do a quick little run through. It is a tournament for lower elo players to get some experience and make some friends in a competitive environment. I believe it runs over about 5 weeks, including the finals. So we will have a couple weeks of regular season and then go into I believe it's a double round robin this season. But more details on that will be released in the future. And each series in the regular season is a best of 3 fearless draft. Now, something special about this season is that depending on the rank of the captain for each team, if they are within the Emerald bracket, they are actually allowed to play for their team. So not only are you captaining a team, but you can also play and be a shot caller if you want. You can also just be a support and help, you know, promote your other players to do great things in the match. With the roster of 6 other players, it means that each team now has 7 possible players for each series. Now, with the LEPL season 2, I know that I wasn't there for season 1, but I can only assume it was
mhm.
the same for season 1. There's a lot of
season
flexibility.
season one was a little bit different. Season one, we had the captains. They were allowed to play and participate, even though they were like higher elo. And then we decided to remove that and make it so that they were just coaches for the second season. This time around, captains are just the same elo as everyone else, so all the captains are able to play unless they don't want to. Um, they're all going to be able to play, and yeah, I mean, like with 7-man rosters, a lot of these teams are going to be super, super flexible in terms
Yeah.
of their players.
I mean, I think it just means that you really have to be paying attention to who they put into like the roster for each game in the series because, for example, Donnie, a really good Yasuo Kali player. But if Donnie is not in that series, then wasting a banning out, Yasuo Kali is not going to be the best course
Mhm.
of action here, right? Like you're just wasting bans at that point. And, to that point, if you get down to, you're 1-1, it's game three, and all of a sudden your support champion pool has been pinched, maybe four champions that you play have all been taken away by the fearless bans. Swap out
Mhm.
your support. Now you get someone else in who has a different champion pool and can play that last game without
Yep.
the constriction of not knowing how to play these champions. So it'll be a,
Yep.
a little bit more
This is
difficult
a
this season, I feel, to try and nail down who's playing what role and what champion they're going to go for.
Yeah, no. This is a team as well. I actually really liked watching Donnie draft his team because his team, he started with Moonlight Melody, She's Dreams. So he started with her, who is primarily an enchanter player. That's pretty much all that she plays.
Yes,
Um,
she's a big
but
Yumi
then
main.
Yeah, but then when you take a look at their other support, Shawarma, he plays primarily engage and hook champions. So that's the really cool thing I think about this team is that they're kind of going to be able to switch supports based on what they want to do each game, based on whether or not they want to play enchanter or want to play some engage. They can just decide and then put in whatever support specializes in that kind of gameplay, which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, and that kind of changes the entire dynamic of that bot lane because, of course, enchanters, you're trying to scale up, play for that late game, so you want your team to play around that ADC, be those tanky bodies there. But if you're playing those tanky engage supports, those hook champions, then you're trying to make plays early. You're trying to be proactive, and you can, leave your jungler to perhaps play a squishier, maybe an assassin champion, so you don't have to peel for the ADC because you as a support are doing that instead. A quick rundown of the people on the Gapplebees. There is Lilico, who mainly plays, or I'll be saying which category of player, which position they were drafted as in the LEPL draft. Remember that this is very flexible, so they may not play this, they may not play this role at all, or they may play just nothing but this role. But keep that in mind
Yep.
when looking at this. So we have Lilico here, was drafted for ADC, plays a lot of different ADC champions, very 1v9 bot laner. I think they have one of the highest, or in fact, lowest PVs. Now, PVs, the lower they are, it means the more the powerful or the stronger this player seems in the draft. So a lower PV correlates to potentially a higher rank or more skill. So quite a low PV here. Very strong bot laner. Likes a lot of 1v9 bot laners, plays a lot of Corki, so should expect to see that come out during the draft. Next up, we have Legend. And feel free to jump in at any point, GP, because I'm just going to be rattling on, so interrupt me with any points you want to make. Next up is Legend, who's drafted for a jungle role, plays a lot of Ambessa, 67% win rate on that champion. Plays also, Sylas, Neferi, Lee Sin, likes a lot of these skirmishy junglers, a lot of mobility, so getting around that map early. Um, Sejin is drafted for that top role. Now, they play a whole bunch of different champions. They do play a lot of mages, but recently they've been picking up a bit of the Kennen, a bit of the Kled, and then remember, with the flexibility of these drafts, maybe they will be going towards that mid lane, playing the Orianna, the Syndra. Over to Moonlight. I know that you mentioned this before, GP. An Enchanter player, loves those Enchanters, plays a whole bunch of Yuumi, 65% win rate on Yuumi over 62 games, which is
Mhm.
it speaks not only to your strength but also your ADC's strength because you as that enchanter are supporting them, and that's the more you can support them, the better they can shine. I feel, which is quite important, especially for team games like League of Legends. Plays Nami, Milio, Sona, so a lot of enchanty champions there. Again, Shawarma. On the other side of the support role, we have a whole bunch of Thresh. 1.6 million mastery points on this Thresh. Plays also the Blitzcrank and the Nautilus. Lots of hook support. So trying to make these plays be almost an engage or a catch for their team. They're trying to create some chaos on the map and disrupt what the enemy wants to do. Last but not least, we have Fraser, who is picked up for that mid lane role. Plays a whole bunch of Rise and very comfortable on it. but also has been picked up a couple of other battle mages in the mid lane here with the Victor. Syndra got some Twisted Fate as well, so I'm interested to see what they can make happen. Because a lot of these mid lane mages here, Twisted Fate ultimate, Rise ultimate, I mean, the Victor and Syndra skirmishing power like that, if you can work well
Mhm.
around that and have good jungle mid synergy, then you can make a lot happen.
Yeah, I think so. I think playing mid jungle duo feels like really, really important this season, I've found. And in the games that I've played with my team, it feels like most of the games that we're winning is where mid and jungle is playing really, really well together, and then they're able to carry their leads around the map to top lane and to ADC. Because obviously, with the changes that they made, those roles scale and snowball really, really well. But if you are able, as an ADC or top laner, to just not coin flip and wait for your mid and jungle to play well together, and then just come wait for them to come help your lane, I think it's like the most consistent way of gameplay. So I'm actually most curious to see how the mid jungle is going to interact compared to what the other lanes look like.
Yeah, that makes sense. And another point here about the flexibility of the squad is remember back to Donnie. Donnie plays a lot of these melee mid lane champions, a lot of AD. We've got the Yone, got the Yasuo, and the Akali, which is some mixed damage. Whereas Fraser plays a lot of mages mid. So sort of like that support swap, with the enchanters versus the hook champions. Now we have mages versus like the melee damage in mid lane. So
Yeah.
you really don't know what to expect when you're drafting up against this team, which a little daunting, I think, for a lot of teams because if you don't know what you're drafting, it can sort of throw you into a tizzy and break you before the game even starts. So hopefully this doesn't happen here. Moving on to
Yep.
our second team here, we have Seals Kids 2 or SK2. Now, a quick aside, the I guess reasoning behind this name is if you haven't watched already, I will plug it is up on our YouTube channel, official LEPL. But we had some pre-season show matches, and in one of those show matches, we had Seals Kids as one of the team. Unfortunately, they were not successful. I'm going to spoil it. It's been up for a couple weeks, so you should go watch it. But they were unsuccessful. But here we have Seals Kids 2, so potentially trying to redeem the name there. Captain, of course, by Seal. And we have, well, I don't know. How do I really explain what Seal is? I feel like it's just like macro is how you talk about Seal. What do you think?
Um, I think his laning is like I think he's like kind of an all-around player. I don't think he's like particularly good at laning or good at macro. Maybe he like his strength is maybe more a little bit in team fighting, but I think like his laning is pretty all right. I think his macro is pretty all right. I think he has a general understanding of everything that he does, which is kind of hard to find in Emerald. I feel like a lot of the people who are in Emerald specialize and are good at like one particular thing, and then they're struggling to understand other things. And it feels like Seal has like a baseline concept for all of those, which allows him to like if he's losing in one aspect, he'll probably do something else better than you. You
Yeah,
know, like he'll always kind of have a way to outplay you. He'll figure something out.
yeah, it makes sense. I mean that his rank speaks to that. He is sitting around Emerald 1, I believe, is his peak. So he's doing pretty well, just below that cutoff. So he is able to squeak his way into playing these matches. So Darius main plays a lot of Darius, 53% win rate on that. Does play a lot of Garen, Ornn, Urgot as well, and has picked up some of the Silas recently. Now,
Yeah.
going over to the other members of the team. Oh, sorry, did you want to pop in?
I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, actually, I think a little bit of a weakness that Seal has that we won't be able to see yet, but we'll see it probably later in the tournament, is that he doesn't have a whole lot of champions in his pool. So I think like when we're watching him in the regular season, he's going to have a very repetitive champion pool. And then I think once it goes later into the season and once we start getting into the best of fives and the longer series, I think he might struggle a little bit in those.
Yeah, makes sense. But I mean, that's why you have the 7-man roster, because then, of course, you can
Yep.
swap players in and out as you need. We've got Mad Lad here, who is picked up for that jungle position. Got a fairly low PV, 41.6. I think Mad Lad was one of the people who was decently sought after in the draft, just because, yes, not only is there a small jungle pool, but Mad Lad has played in previous tournaments and is a decent jungler. So it is good to pick up people that you can trust and rely on in that jungle early. Uh, Plays a lot of Kayn, has been grinding a lot of Diana, Sylas, and Wukong recently. 68% win rate on the Diana, so a little scary, not only in the jungle, but it could also be popped out in the mid lane. Over to that Thresh guy, you might remember him as Feeling Thresh from previous seasons, but it's now that Thresh guy. Has been playing a bit of mid lately with a lot of Orianna in that mid lane. Also plays a bit of Ryze, which was mentioned, and some Mel. So a lot of these battle mages, again, lots of skirmish in that mid lane. Very flexible player, so hopefully we'll see something interesting picked up by him. Over next we have Areo, who plays a lot of Kai'Sa, likes these, scaling ADCs like the Kai'Sa Jinx, plays Yunara, Caitlyn, and an interesting fact about Areo is their win rate actually goes up as the games get longer. So I know that can be true for a lot of different players, but as an ADC who plays a lot of these scaling champs, it's just kind of highlights their play style and what they're looking to do for their team when they are playing in a match. They want to sit back, scale. They want to get a bunch of resources funneled into them and take over the game towards that mid to late stages. Going on to Filthy Frank here, picked up in the support position. Now, before in Donnie's team, Gapplebees, believe we had, what was his name, Shawarma, who is the hook support champion player and had
Yeah.
1.6 million mastery on Thresh. Filthy Frank has 1.7 million mastery on Thresh. So I'll mention it later, but I think Thresh is going to be a highly contested pick in the series with both players having such a high mastery of the champion. Plays a bit of Melio, Pyke as well in that support position. And in their solo queue games, they look to be very, I'll say, like feast or famine. Uh, with things like the Thresh, like the Pyke especially, they're looking to make plays early. And if they can make these plays succeed early, then they have a great chance of winning. They can snowball the game, get things rolling, and win with their team. However, if the game stalls out, then their win rate goes down dramatically. So they're going to be looking to try and break the game open early, try and make some early plays, some proactive plays, get their ADC ahead, and try to, you know, get the game done just by snowballing their lead there. And with this season, I think the bot lane is one of the better lanes to snowball their lead from, just because, of course, Dragon's right there with the objectives. You can play a lot with your support ADC and jungle, and it's once you get into this team fights, if you are ahead on an ADC, it's kind of GG at that point if you can't be taken down.
Yeah. I think Filthy Frank and Comey have a play style that synergizes relatively well together. I think they both kind of play relatively aggressive early. Um, I think it's interesting though that Frank is a player who likes to play aggressive early, and his win rate gets lower as the game goes on, and Areo's win rate goes up as the game goes on and as everything progresses.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder, maybe they'll balance each other out. Maybe, Filthy Frank will try and get ahead early and then snowball, the Areo into those later stages of the game. Maybe if Frank isn't doing so well in those early stages, then Areo will try and stabilize in that lane, because they have that guaranteed scaling. I'm not quite sure what their plan is, but I'm excited to see it. We have
Yeah,
a
it is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Comey, which you did mention. They're drafted into the bot role, and I will say this with curiosity, they've been spamming Briar games for almost maybe a month. Like they have
Yeah.
nothing but Briar games on their account. So I don't know what to expect here. Comey, of course, has played in previous seasons and actually was on the winning team along with that Thresh guy and Areo. They were also captained by Seal in that winning team. So Seal has tried to draft maybe the team that he thinks, oh, they won last season, they're good, I will trust them to win again. I'm not sure what his thinking is there, but Comey is a strong bot laner, very 1v9, plays, Zaya, plays a lot of other ADCs to a pretty decent level. I think we did see a pentakill come through in one of the games, if I remember correctly. But yeah, with this Briar being pulled out, I am not sure what's going to happen here, which kind of adds to the excitement of what's going to happen with these flexible picks.
Yeah, it could make you wonder if there's going to be a little bit of flexibility on the team.
Yeah, like maybe I know this was mentioned in the server, but that first pick, like you're kind of deciding if you leave Briar open, they might just pick it because if Comey has been spamming Briar, then that's a champ that they know like really well, so they will be strong as champion. But at the same time, if
Mhm.
you ban Briar, then maybe Comey just goes to the bot lane, and you have someone else like Mad Dad play jungle who doesn't play Briar, so now you waste a ban there. So I think looking at how these teams are matched up already, I think a common theme of this season is going to be trying to bait out bans with just the size of your roster and the different champion pools that you have available to yourself. I think that's going to be a big mental game in these early drafting phases.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And last but not least for Seals Kids 2 is American War Mace, AMW. Been in the server for a while, has played a lot of games in the seasons. Very similar champion pool to Seal in that top lane. Plays a lot of Darius, the Set, the Garen, some Aatrox. So hopefully Seal can, impart some of the wisdom of those matchups onto American War Mace to help grow the player. One thing I would be worried about though is yes, it's good to have two top laners or two of any different role, just because it's good to have that variety. But with that variety comes different champion pools. Now they have pretty much the same champion pool, so I'd
It's
be worried.
actually crazy. I like when I saw the team name and then I saw their champion pool, I was pretty sure that American War Mace was actually Seal's kid.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
The
it.
champion pool, it's just that similar, which can be like a really big upside for War Mace in the sense that like Seal can really help him improve as a player and on those champions if he wants to. But the downside is that like when the pools are getting pinched, you don't have anyone to swap out to. You would have to switch roles around on the team and try and get someone else playing. Like the champion pools are just so similar, it's just hard to switch out,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. I mean, at that point, it's sort of just, well, we're going to slap you onto Scion duty or slap you onto Orin duty, that sort of thing, and just, play those scaling tanks in that top lane. But
Yeah.
we'll see how the games go. Luckily, it is just a best of three, so hopefully not too much champ pool squishing should happen today. Excuse me. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see
I
what they have in
agree.
store.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just makes the playoffs more exciting knowing that like I think when the playoffs happen, we're gonna see some really, really crazy drafts for some of these teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, finally, I'll end off this quick little pre-show with some power picks that I'm trying to look for in this draft. So, mention that Thresh. Two players on either side have more than 1.6 million mastery points on the Thresh, so I expect it to be very contested. That Yumi is extreme comfort for Melody, so I'm assuming that if it's not picked, it's going to be banned, or it's going to be picked early with a scaling ADC, something like maybe a Yunara, something that can be a carry in these later team fights, something that likes to have the Yumi on them. Darius, yes, played a lot by American War Mace and Seal, but also played by one of the top laners for Gapplebees. If I remember correctly, it was thinking on this. It may have been Legend or Sejin. I'm not too sure, but I do know that Darius is a strong champion that might just get taken away from the side of Seal's kids too. Kaisa, a very good champion, especially with these engage and hook champions like the Thresh, being played by both Komi and Areo and Lilico. So I think that one of the things about the bot lane pool is that there is a lot more flexibility because a lot of champs can fill a similar role. But I would expect to see some form of a Kaisa draft come out in the game. And then finally, Rise. Both mage players in the mid lane do play a lot of this Rise, and it is a strong champion with that ultimate moving people around the map and then just skirmishing in the mid game with your jungler. So maybe we'll see an odd Rise game or two in this series. Or not to it. It is a fearless draft, but maybe we'll see it banned in a game and picked in
Yeah.
the next one.
Yeah, no, I definitely think there's going to be a little bit of high priority on the rise, especially because for Donnie, I know that some of his champions can struggle into that rise. Like the Akali and the Yasuo, they kind of struggle to kill him, and then he can just kind of scale and then murder them later. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Rise banned if Fraser's not playing.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. All right, as we start to load up draft for everyone here, thank you again for tuning in a little bit early, listening to us ramble on about who is playing today. Hopefully, you get a little bit of an idea of what's in store. Maybe some hype for some of these picks. Hopefully, we see them. Maybe we don't. We'll have to wait and see. All right. So just waiting here on the draft. We've confirmed with both teams that they are almost ready to start. So hopefully we'll get in and see what they pick very, very shortly.
Oh, and it looks like Shawarma is going to be playing this game.
Oh, interesting.
So
As
no
draft,
Yumi.
no Yumi. All right. Well, that's a ban off the table then. It's something you don't have to worry about as draft does start up here. Now, you might notice something interesting with this draft situation. It is following, I believe, the new 2026 competitive format for drafting, in which it is, instead of picking blue side and you get first pick, it is now priority. So you can either choose to select your side or choose to select your pick. So we'll verify once we get into actually picking some champions, but I believe that SK2 will be picking first.
Yeah,
Although,
it looks like they will be.
yeah, although Gap is going to be on blue side this game, as we see the Corki, a Kali Yone coming out there, I assume targeted towards Donnie. And then we have the Darius Urgot targeted towards the top lane in Seal, as well as Komi's Zaya.
Honestly, I don't blame them for banning Xayah. That champion is not very common in bot lane, and not a lot of AD carries know how to play against it. And then
Yeah,
Thresh first pick.
I
I'm
mean,
also
hey.
not surprised to see this because I figured that first pick would be like a really high priority in this draft, and after they got it, I'm surprised they didn't just pick Thresh. And if they didn't see this coming and they didn't prep for this, I would also be kind of surprised.
Yeah, I'm looking at the bands, no Thresh. I'm like, guys, we're out. We're 100% we're picking Thresh here. Like both people, both supports have such a high mastery that
And
you
then
kind of have to pick
it's
it.
matched with Braum.
Interesting, the Braum matchup. I don't know if I like seeing Braum this early. Yes, Thresh is picked, and Braum's not a bad champion to it. You are melee pulling into the range. You can apply passive to the Thresh as well as poke out with your Q, but I feel like it can be easily countered depending on the team comp that SK2 decides to go around.
Oh, Braum is Fortune.
Braum MF.
Interesting, actually. I think that picking these two champions this early can be really, really bad for your draft.
I think I would have preferred perhaps maybe like a strong jungler, a strong jungle prio, and then the MF. Maybe save support for later, but I think they have an idea and they're sticking with it. So we'll see what they can cook up in this draft. It's back over to SK2. I expect to see some sort of ADC come out here and then maybe a jungler pick. As Diana might be that, yeah, might be a mad lad Diana there into the jungle, was spamming it on a bunch of solo queue games recently, so that's where I'd expect
Yeah,
to see
good
it.
chance that there is. If their mid laner, I don't know if their mid laner plays it, but that could also be a possible flex pick too. I think flex picks are something that I also want to see a little bit more of this tournament. They were kind of there in the last tournament, but with this one, I feel like they've made it so that so many champions can jungle. Flex picks are really, really strong.
Yep, agreed. And yeah, Yunar coming in. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Thresh, Yunar, Diana, you're going at them, you're pulling them in, you're creating some chaos. Makes sense. Wondering what they're going to counter this Diana with. If Gap picks their jungle now or waits till they're 4-5. as
Oh, Zahen.
Zahen. Go top lane.
I like that actually. Yeah, that's another pick that's like kind of flex. It can kind of go wherever. I do like the Zahen pick. I think picking Diana into Braum is a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you're dashing onto the front line there, and then Braum just applies passive or knocks you off with his ultimate, and then you're kind of stuck there in the middle of the team. You do have Thresh
Yeah, it
Lantern to
can be
try
a
and move
little hard.
around, but like it's still a bit awkward.
I think it's also interesting that they're letting Seal go, like letting his picks go so late into the draft. Because I mean, as you can see, Gapplebees is just banning him out. They're
Yeah,
just taking all of his champs away.
I wonder if he's got some like pick he's been cooking that he wants to save to later, or he just says, "Hey, look, I'll get my other players ahead first, and then I'll pick for myself."
I definitely think with this lineup, we played against them yesterday and Comey wasn't playing, so Seal kind of had to play to carry, but I think when he's playing with Comey, he doesn't necessarily have to do that. He's definitely fine locking in stuff like Ornn or Malphite or Scion, and just playing tank if he needs to.
Yep, makes sense. Just, put the Malphite in the bag, and then, yep, super engaged for your team, and then just play around your mid lane or bot lane carries. Makes sense as Cannon Ban comes through, as well as the Lysandra. Interesting.
I wonder what they're looking for with the cannon ban.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, Cannon is a little bit of a lane bully, so maybe something that wants to bully but is a little bit less able to into a ranged matchup. Not too sure. Lysandra ban is also interesting from the side of Gap because I'm not sure what mid lane would play. That's Aurelion
Aurelion
Sol.
Soul.
Uh,
This is an interesting ASOL game, I think.
I
I don't think
that's
there's any particular tanks that you're gonna cut through and be looking at. And it looks kind of a little hard into their comp, but I think you can make it work. It's also can be hard blind.
yeah. I think
I'm
well
curious to see
that's
if it's gonna be punished at all by something feeling thresh picks.
I expect it to be punished. I mean, the Rise is still available here, and I think that's like not the worst matchup there in the mid lane. As Dr. Mundo comes down,
Oh,
interesting.
I'm really not sure how I feel about that actually,
What are you thinking? What's
because
the risk of this one?
uh, well they picked Mundo after the enemy team picked Asol, which is obviously just gonna cut through the Mundo, and it's a blind Mundo. So you can get punished really, really hard in lane phase, and then outside of lane phase, they're also gonna have answers for you.
Yeah, I think if they wanted a front line, like some option for that, then there's different picks. As
Oh,
the
Wukong.
Wukong comes through, okay, so it looks like Diana's going to the mid lane. I guess that
Okay,
makes
so these,
sense into ASOL.
yeah, yeah, and then they could flex the Mundo and the Wukong too, actually, if both are comfortable playing either.
That's true. I don't know who is.
That would make the Mundo blind a little less bad, and I'd like it a little bit more.
I think it really depends on what their last pick in the top's going to be. A
Oh,
Kled.
Kled. Okay, so yeah, at this point they should definitely put Mundo jungle because that matchup is really, really hard in lane phase for the Mundo. He kind of just gets beat up the whole time.
Yeah,
But I think the Wukong can deal with the Kled a lot better.
I agree with the passive stacking that armor up, and then your ability to dodge and weave out of what the Kled wants to do makes sense. Yeah, Mundo
Yeah.
wants to stat check you, but Kled will just stat check you harder and earlier, so might be hard if he goes in that top lane.
Yeah, no, in terms of just draft, I kind of like the fact that um Gapplebees has like a pretty straightforward comp. Like they have like there's a hen, the Braum, and the Kled who just kind of stand in front while the MF ASO look to like, poke and chunk out the enemy front line. I feel like Seal's kids have a little bit of a harder comp to play. And I think for them to be winning some of these fights, they're also gonna have to get a bit of a lead early.
Yes, absolutely. I think that I mean we do have this Thresh, and there's a lot of mastery on the Thresh, so maybe they want to make some plays around that, especially with Diana. Once Diana hits 6, just running down to that bot lane, land a hook, land an ultimate, try and get some stuff going for the Yunara. But we'll have to see if they can actually make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure with no Braum ban and with this Thresh pick in mind, I'm sure he's comfortable on it. And like I've heard from both sides, like from high elo support players, I've heard both sides, like people like it. So it really could go either way, I think. I think the support matchup's kind of volatile, but I think the Braum does make them kind of hard to gank and kind of hard for people to set them up.
Yeah, makes sense. Although I will say that I think the support matchup here really depends on your ADC because both of these supports want to play heavily around their ADC with both the catch of the Thresh and the peel of the Braum. And I
Yeah.
like the Yunara Thresh a little bit better than the MF Braum because MF does want to dash around and wants to, poke in for a bit of damage, poke out, slow them down, create a bit of confusion, and then finally use that ult. Whereas Braum
Yeah.
just wants to peel, but MF doesn't really need a bunch of the peel, especially with the movement speed and the slows that she gets from her E.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think that the lane is like much more outplayable for Thresh and Yunara, and I think if they play well, they should come out of the bot side ahead. Um, and I think even if they play team fights correctly, they can do a lot. But I think that Miss Fortune's going to be pretty monstrous in a lot of these team fights, as long as she's positioning well, though, because it's very easy for her to get caught by this Diana or this Wukong and just one shot.
Mm, agreed, agreed.
Oh, and it looks like they actually are going to be sending the Mundo top as well. So they're just keeping Wukong in the jungle, sending Mundo top.
Yeah, maybe they weren't too confident with switching up those roles and they just want to stay in comfort. Again, as I will say many, many times, in the LEPL, comfort is king. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can
You know what?
make it
I
work.
respect it. I hope they can make it work too. Um, it can be a little bit rough if they don't, but if the Mundo does start getting ahead, he will draw quite a bit of pressure, I think. It'll just be hard to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the
As
mid lane matchup too, we see Electrocute and Ignite on the Diana, so she's going fully for like the squishy, the one shot. Um, so I mean she's gonna be playing just Snowball on this ASO, which is fair. I think I would probably do the same.
yeah, I agree. I mean, Asa wants to scale. You are Diana. You have, a
Oh
couple
wait, there's
different
hold on, hold
dashes.
on.
Oh,
There's actually an invade happening. Zehen is actually just starting his Raptors,
I do
and
see
he's
that, and
looking to tease the Wukong, I think.
they didn't spot it out. I think just walking up to that red buff a little early, not seeing the Zehen in the area, and will have the level 2 first. And I think Wukong needs to time the smite correctly. If he doesn't smite it, and he doesn't,
Oh, he
and
didn't get the
that's
smite.
that's terrible for this
It's
lane
pretty
here.
bad. Yeah, he flashes out. I mean, he's gonna get out, but that definitely feels bad. I mean, you just lost
You lost your
three.
entire
He's
top
taken
side.
three of your cleanups, yeah, and your whole health bar, your flash,
Yeah,
and I mean, that's pretty rough.
yeah, that's not a great start. He's going to try and counter jungle here by going into the bot side. I'd almost like to see if they are communicating that Braum
Oh,
claps
he's
up with
walking
the
back
Aesol,
actually.
but maybe
He
decides.
seems pretty unsure on what the Wukong wants to do. I feel.
Mm. As a hen looking topside, maybe it's hard to do anything into the Mundo, so a level 3 gank probably is not going to happen. Just going to clear his own topside.
Yeah, I will say the Mundo is doing a pretty good job to like just sit back from afar and see us with his Qs. He actually has a huge health advantage right now, so he's playing pretty well.
Yeah, makes sense. As we
There's a
see some.
lot of heavy trading on this bot side too. Both supports are about the same.
Yep, shield goes up, and then Yunara's active Q won't do too much, but this Braum has been landing a lot of Qs onto this Thresh, so for that range into melee matchup, it's pretty even on that health.
There's like a slight CS lead in the mid lane too, with a bit of a health lead too actually, because Asol's already popped the pot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's to be expected, almost like that Mundo and top lane matchup, as Hook does hit. Don't think you're going to follow that in there, but Braum passive is applied onto that Thresh. I think this
Exhaust comes
Thresh
out.
might just be dead here.
Wow, he's just dead.
Damn, yeah. And Braum passive
I
here, I
think
think
Minara
this
has
is
to
just going to
flash
be...
out, or she's greeting.
I think she wants to trade excellent flash to follow Braum into the bush there. I don't know if it was... I don't know who actually flashed first, but maybe Yunar tried to flash away, Braum
Oh,
followed, and
well
then
played.
Yunar killed, but I mean, that's a 1-for-1 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that trade is necessarily worth it, but
Yeah,
I respect it.
I think getting something back there is good, but I think the initial play, you just disrespected and walked up a bit too far, and then, Braum passes applied early levels, and it's quite hard to outplay the stun.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking pretty
All
even
right.
here in the solo lanes. Jungle is still a little bit behind from that early invade. as bot lane runs back. A BF sword picked up early for this MF is going to make the lane a lot harder
That's
for SK2.
huge, actually. Those Qs are really, really gonna hurt when it's like BF direct tricks. You're not even
Absolutely.
gonna win
As
them all.
we see Kled going in, uses Ignite and
Oh,
flashes for the kill. No sums used by Mundo, so just going to take that death. You know, just gonna take the
I
death.
think the Kled has the base right now, though. I think he's standing here for way too long, and his wave is in a really bad spot. And the Mundo has teleport.
Yeah, I think that at this point, I think the Kled tried to push the wave, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's just not happening
he
here.
just had to. He had the base instantly
And
there.
now
It's a
if
little unfortunate.
okay, pushing it in, I almost could have seen, you know, them keep the wave pushing into Mundo there, just
Yeah,
because
no, the Mundo should have let the wave also keep pushing to him, because then the Kled would have just missed all the minions. But the Kled's actually staying here.
surely this is hella greedy. Like you gotta call your
It
Wukong
is.
over, right? And like you can Wukong, you know, W E and Q, and then
I mean,
he's
Zahen's walking up. They see him though. They see him instantly.
yeah.
So
But I
they're not
mean,
gonna get anything out of it.
good cover here by the Zahen. Now the Kled is kind of free just to push out this lane and then take a free recall.
Actually, letting them Zahen trade onto the Mundo too. That's interesting.
Yeah, as well. I mean,
I didn't
still
see what happened bot lane, but Yunara actually ended up basing and walking back with the longsword.
it might have just been an awkward base timer, but yeah, I mean, not much more has happened in that bot lane other than that early double kill for the MF.
Yeah, the CS is also still staying relatively even, which is like pretty good for them considering the current circumstances, I think.
Yep. One thing I'm not sure if I mentioned during the pre-show, but Komi here playing the Yunara and Lilyko playing the MF are the two lowest, lowest PV values for this matchup. So that means they are the theoretical highest skilled players in these games, which makes for an interesting bot matchup if you know that your enemy bot laner is around your skill level and you are
Whoa,
oh
that Q hurt. That did
big bounce.
damage.
As it looks
Oh,
like
Asol's getting. Oh,
yep,
oh.
and that's just going to be an insta kill from Diana. Man, yeah, hits the Q, follows up with E, ignites, and also
Yeah.
pull back
I mean,
in,
he
and
didn't flash quite in time.
yeah, flashed a bit late and was just able to follow up there with the extra dash. As Gap is taking down this Drake. I mean, they didn't have mid prio, but with this bot lane MF, I don't think they needed it. Just able to take it without any real trouble here from the side of SK2. Now, the flash still down for Yunara, so I wouldn't mind playing something around bot lane here, especially with the level 6s coming up for both sides. Have to see what they decide to do. As Wukong is going top, and it looks like that they are trying to gank this Kled here. He can just ult away. The ultimate expended
Oh,
by the Wukong unfortunately doesn't end up getting a kill as... Alright, yeah, level 6 is hit, punishing the flashless
oh, and
MF.
finishes it with the flash Q.
Nice setup. We might have to do a quick replay for that kill in the bot side, as it looks like Exhaust goes down and Braum passive right onto that Yunara, MF ult point blank, and then the Lantern comes in, but Flash and Q to follow. And that's
Oh,
just game over.
this Diana's starting to really hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's about time this Diana is going to be the savior of SK2, because I think this bot lane here for Gap is really strong. 3 kills already. Almost... Yeah, only a couple hundred gold now away from that Bloodthirster.
Yeah, I mean, definitely an interesting game so far. The lanes are looking relatively volatile all around, except for jungle. Other than that early invade, Wukong is pretty close back in terms of CS. He's looking a lot better than how he was at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, he's been able to stabilize. I mean, just...
Only down a couple hundred gold too. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's still in level 6 here for
Come
the
back
Junara,
now.
so the poke from MF will really hurt, and you can't really punish because, again, that move speed allows her to run away and out of any danger. As Growth spawn up and are probably just going to go all 3 down to the side of Gap. As Ultimate comes through here, but takes a big chunk of damage here in the bot lane, so can't continue that trade. 3 gubs secured by Gap. A lot going on.
Oh, and Braum is gonna walk over this Wukong. He's gonna find him.
Yep, that is 6 here for the Braum. Does elect to
Oh,
ult,
the
but
ult goes
misses.
wide.
If the Wukong can get over the wall, oh,
Oh,
opts to
Wukong.
flash, a little bit of a
Oh,
miscommunication there
and
between the
Thresh
Thresh
needs to warm up.
Lantern and
Take that
the...
kill.
Yeah.
Are they gonna be able to find the Thresh too? Thresh flashes out.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean they got a
that's...
couple flashes.
Ace will ult to secure the kill on the Wukong. I think there was a bit of miscommunication there between the flail going out and the flash coming through from the Wukong. So maybe a bit of nerves coming down these early levels. As hook goes wide,
Oh,
there are 3 people in the area. The
doesn't go away.
Ace is still here, so hard to play it. As, oh,
Oh,
tight corridor
yeah,
over
I
that
mean,
MF ult, and the Thresh is going to go down instantly.
Rom's done into bullet time. He's just dead.
Yeah, I was doubting on this early lane, but apparently that Braum passive, you can just stun under the MF ult, then that does a whole bunch
I
of
mean,
damage.
Brahms just OP, I guess.
You heard it here first. Just pick Braum
There's
and win games.
actually a huge CS lead in the mid lane too, actually, and even a CS lead in the top lane, where originally, um, Kled was up 500 gold after the solo kill. He's now down. He's about even actually with where enemy laner was. Mid lane, there's like a huge gold gap. Along with in the bot lane, there's some huge gold gaps there too. I really think what Seal's kids need to do is try and stabilize and let this Diana try and make some plays on the map because I feel like that's their biggest hope right now.
Yeah, as, oh, it just looks
Zehen
like
is
this
looking for
Zehen
an
is,
invade. I
yeah,
think he might.
he was going
I mean,
deep,
he's
but he
gonna get
hits
his
the
passive
Zehen.
in a
He is
second here.
stacking passive. You need to hit the
One
Zehen down,
auto.
but
Oh, he gets his res off.
gets the res, but he is in quite deep. Aurelion Sol coming over, and I think both sides are going to walk out unless... Oh, Exhaust
Oh,
comes
exhaust
down,
comes
as
out.
well as the pullback to cancel the
Basil's
dash.
outplaying.
And both sides just walk out. Alright,
Yeah,
they...
I mean, Misfortune also fought Yunara on the side and managed to get a pick there too. So it actually still ends up being a positive trade.
Yeah, I mean, they just walked in, said hello, and walked out. And it's nothing, nothing more to say there. As no ult, unfortunately, canceled this Ace-Soul
I
drive.
do think that this Kled. Oh, I was just gonna say you should look for a dive, and wow, he's just dead.
And I think it might be the return
Oh,
kill
but it
there.
trades 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Ignite going down there as tries to all in under tower, but unfortunately dies on the back end of that trade. As, oh, Zehen pullback misses, and Diana should be able to walk out pretty easy here. But yeah, that previous fight and now all this fighting in the bot side has led to MF getting a 5-0 lead. And that's where most of the gold, I think, from the side of Gap is sitting right now. So playing around this MF, especially during objective fights like the Dragon that has just come up, is going to be their best bet at winning this game. Oh, Slurpee
Yeah,
goes wide
the
as...
flash just comes out. I mean, like at this point, blue side's looking really good, right? They have a really strong Misfortune. They have an Aesol who's scaling, and they have Grubs plus Drake. Like
Yeah,
they have 2 Drakes actually. Like they have gold leads, they have objective leads.
yeah, as MF ult comes down, Braum ult a little bit late. But yeah, this
I
Yunara
mean,
really
they're
low,
gonna have
can't
to
continue
back
any
up from this
fight.
turret though, no?
Zahen's trying to wrap, but I do see him on vision
Yeah,
approaching.
no, I think this Thresh needs to leave or he's just gonna get the Oven killed. I think it's too late.
Yeah, I
This
think
guy's
that
dead for sure.
maybe he can try and outplay it, but very, very hard, especially into a Zehen and a Braum.
He almost did get a return kill because Thresh ult slow is brutal. It's like 99%.
It is pretty
Crazy.
crazy. I will say, is this the tech? I don't play a lot of top lane, but is 3 Giants belts the tech on Mundo?
The tech is to go 3 Giants belts and then finish your Warmogs to get the Warmogs passive.
Ah, I see.
And then at that point, you can start trading really, really aggressively and just using your Warmogs to get the health back, and then you'll always take a winning trade every time, as long as you don't all in.
Makes sense. The more you know, I suppose, is this, yeah, CS lead continues to grow in the mid and top lane. I know you mentioned it earlier, but I want to say I think that Seal played quite respectful of the early levels, but I know that the rank difference between these two players is about 400 maybe? So it is about a division difference, so maybe it's starting to show here with the CS advantage that Seal has started to accrue for himself.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like if you outplay him in one way, there's a good chance he's gonna find a way to outplay you in another way. So in this sense, like, he Kled is trading better, but oh, and they're actually looking really aggressively on
Yeah,
the
has to
Diana. He
forces the
just has to
flash with the
flash.
slow coming down from the um, Aurelion Soul E as slow coming down from the MF. And I think, yeah, it looks like the Thresh might just be caught here. Has to flash away, but does not hit the MF with the hook. Exhaust goes down onto the Yunara, pops ult, but I don't think it's going to be able to trade back a return kill. And just walks it out. Flash used from the MF and exhaust used from the Braum. But, oh, as...
Oh, and then...
Damn.
Oh, wow.
Really well played there.
You know
Flash
what?
in into Braum ult and passive for the MF ult combo.
Yeah,
Big.
that was actually really well played. A lot of people have been shit-talking Shawarma lately for his performance in the last tournament, but I think he played this game really, really well.
Yeah, but may
Wukong shows a
have...
bot, and this actually looks really, really bad.
I think, I mean, I love the play, but they may have just overstayed. You know, the play happened, and they were looking for something a little bit more, but, you know, where's the jungle?
Yeah.
You've got Asterisk. Where's jungle? Where's mid lane? And they're roaming down under your head. That's going to be, believe, a double kill going over towards... Oh, no, it's a 1-for-1. One for the Wukong and one for the Diana there.
Yeah.
And it's looking to trade something
Are
back
they
here.
looking to dive this Mundo? This seems crazy.
I mean, yeah, just pop Ghost to avoid the ult, and now you're under tower range, tanking out the tower, forces the flash out of the Kled, and now they're both low health. Mundo is regenerating quite.
That was a little psychotic.
They really
I
wanted
respect
something.
the effort trying to trade after what happened bot suck. That was crazy.
Hey, they tried it. I can respect, but yeah. As ooh, yeah. I mean, putting in the work here, landing these Braum Qs.
Yeah, I think he's playing significantly better than people have given him credit for previously.
He's after last season, he's putting in the work and saying, "Look, I'm going to prove that I can be, you know, respected among the great supports of the LEPL." As Riftchild does spawn up, it looks like Gap is just in place to take it. I don't think there's going to be much of a contest from the side of SK2. We'll have to see what happens, though, as the Diana recall does get cancelled. Yeah, staying bot, playing for something.
I think one thing that's like really important to note too is that a lot of people don't like Rift Herald generally as an objective. But in comp play, I think it's actually really, really important because a lot of times the thing that can prevent you from making plays on the map is the mid lane tier 1, and it feels just so much easier once you're able to get rid of it. So they're going to use their Herald to get rid of the mid lane tier 1, and now the map has just opened up drastically.
Yeah, and I like it because they're using it to push even further. Dragon's coming up here in 50 seconds, so they can both, yeah, if they can get out all the way, then now they have a whole bunch of cryo in the mid lane towards setting up vision towards this dragon. As some more all-ins in the top side, not going to lead to much. Both sides just going to be able to back off.
I mean, that's like one plus side to the Warmog's Mundo as Kled is like if you just take a really aggressive trade, you'll just get your health back because of your mount.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, both top lanes are going to
So
be heavy trading and in the end be just fine.
yeah. I do think the Kled is like playing a little too aggressive though. I don't think he got a big enough lead early, and the Mundo is gonna start to be a
Yeah,
problem.
like right now, you're half health. You haven't broken
Like,
mount
this is
yet.
crazy.
This is a bit much here. Like you don't even have ignite.
I've only
and you're
seen
going
Kled
in.
players do this.
But maybe we spoke too soon. I mean, does have the Mundo ult, so yeah, it's just gonna pop that and then run at this Kled. Oh, as
Oh,
I think.
just gonna spot side. Romult goes wide. He tries warding the lantern, but it doesn't quite work. Sky's Descent comes down though with the Zehen ult, and the backline just gets dissipated. But now Diana and Wukong are on the backline.
Yeah, and Zehen passes up. That Braum pass is still ticking. Flash comes through in the pullback into the double kill for Zehen. So top lane
and then
kill.
Kled did end up dying. So Mundo is gonna get some resources, but like I said, as long as some resources get put onto the Zehen and the Acel, they'll definitely have the resources to deal with the Mundo and the facilities.
Yeah.
Because like Acel just has so much percent max, and then Zehen just has so much damage and healing that the Mundo can't ever really kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Zehen's just gonna use him to stack his passive and then ult and one shot everyone else.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that it's a bit of a love-hate relationship with Zehen, is that he is so durable, and he uses it very well because he has the mobility to be able to put himself between your carries and the enemy ADC. So he will just stand there, take a whole bunch of damage, you know, engage, back out, dash forward, back out, alt forward, back out, and he makes so much time and space that by the time you, as the enemy AD carry, finally deal enough damage to push him out of the fight, your team is dead. So I think the space and time that he buys can't be understated, especially with a carry like MF who just wants to, run around and double tap people, throw that ult down, and finish up the fight.
Mundo's actually on 2 items now. Even though they're about even in gold, the Mundo is just way up because of his free boots. He doesn't have refill. He sold his starter item. So this Mundo is, like, in terms of just pure items, he's way up on items on this Kled right now.
Yeah. I mean, ooh, this Braum, maybe a bit greedy going all the way in, putting some vision down, but no objective coming up other than Baron.
Yeah. MF went LDR second. I actually like it a lot here. I think the other team has a lot of, like, just bits and pieces of armor and health sources, and so LDR second, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I know from what I've seen and the testing people have done, if they have, like, any sort of armor or health at all, LDR instantly outdamages Infinity Edge. It's actually crazy how strong it is this season with the Giant Slayer passive returning.
Yeah. And I think
I'd be a little bit surprised if Blue Side doesn't try and force a play on this Baron. I think they're just so much stronger right now that they should.
I mean, they are 4.5k up, so just making something happen. Unfortunately, unlike SK2, they don't have a go button other than the Kled. So I think trying to wrap around and take the Kled out of this lane, put them somewhere in the mid, and just ult on top of their faces, it's going to be a recipe for success here.
Yeah, I think that's what they should look for. Because I think even though they're, like, close to their soul, I think Chemtech soul is just generally kind of an soul. It's kind of good on some of their champions, but I don't think it's enough of a soul to actually, like, you won't feel it like you would feel like an Ocean Soul or a Hextech or Cloud or anything like that. Like, it's not going to feel like as much of a win con. I think they're going to still have to play the macro better. I think they're going to have to try and play on this Baron, like...
Yeah.
Sitting and scaling can be okay too, but at the end of the day, if your Aesol gets, like, caught by, like, a stray Thresh hook, or Wukong gets on him, or Diana gets on him, he's gonna get blown up, and then, like, MF is gonna struggle to kill some of these champions later in the game. Like, the Wukong's gonna have, like, 250 armor or so later. The Mundo's just gonna have so much health that, like, this Aesol, I think, needs to start getting some more resources sometime soon.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, one of the things that Aesol does really well is just scale up to be that monster team fighter. Even if you don't provide a whole bunch of damage, the utility you provide with your E-slow, as well as, flying around, being a nuisance, throwing down your ultimate, I think it's really useful. If you can pair it up with the MF ultimate, I think even if the Wukong lives, if you're able to eliminate the Yunara and the Diana, then you're feeling quite good because you have those frontliners like that Zehen, like that Kled, just to peel you. As it looks like, yeah, just caught out here with the Braum ult going through, but nice Thresh
they
Lantern.
missed out on an auto attack though. Wasn't able to get the Braum passive. That's pretty unlucky.
Yeah.
I did forget too. They do have as a hand, and that champion will also just be monstrous later.
Yeah. And with those auto attack resets on the Q, it's really easy to stack that Braum passive up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if Braum lands an auto, it's actually just an auto Q because of how Zahen's first Q works. I think he literally procs it instantly.
I wouldn't doubt that. As Blaskin goes down, Diana might be caught here on the bot side. Slow does come down. Zehen pull back.
Oh, really good Zehen W. And then the kill goes over to Aesol, the resources that I was talking about. The Kled does have to be careful though, because Mundo is level 16.
Yeah,
and now
well,
Wukong's just
speaking of that, it's just going to dive. The Ignite goes down. Mundo ult ticking, but you are underneath tower, and I think that Mundo does have his, I believe it's W proccing, so...
I respect the attempt.
He's just going to go down. Yeah, that was a bit...
I mean, they're gonna get the mid lane for it.
Yep, there you go. There's the ult come down, but that's a flash away from the Thresh.
But they actually just used 2 really, really important ults.
Yeah. And then, well, I mean, Zehen in the backline going to kill that Yunara, and once Yunara's dead, then they don't have a whole bunch of damage. Diana's just running out of base now, but Keel's going to still go over.
Into a Thresh hook. That was crazy. But Thresh gets the shut down, so it's not that bad. They definitely can't end here, though, because of that circumstance, but they should be able to get this turret and then play for soul.
Yeah.
They
So
do need to be cautious of a
as
Diana ult.
oh yeah, you go big Diana ult.
Oh, really,
Nice
really good
pullback,
flash.
but
I mean,
yeah,
she's
that
just gonna
Braum
get auto
passive
down now.
is
Mundo
Mundo
doesn't
here.
have ulti, but he could run them down. Just gonna back off after getting the Braum, I guess. They should walk over to the Drake.
Yeah, I mean TP's out from both top laners here. I think that was yeah. I mean TP down to try and clean up the fight. Maybe a little late, but does get a
Yeah,
return
I
kill
think it
onto
was
the
a little
Braum.
late. I think he greeted for the turret. And then Acel's gonna have a big wave topside to pick up, actually.
Yeah, but hey,
You
I
know what
mean
I've noticed about this season that's actually wild is like the minion frenzy thing they decided to do with all the extra minions. You just get like waves that are just big enough to take half a turret sometimes if you're not careful.
yeah,
Which I
oh
think
yeah.
is actually really nice because then it punishes people who can't play like their side lanes correctly. Like when you don't play a side lane wave correctly, you just lose half a turret, which is like pretty bad.
Yeah, as lots of pings coming down here in the mid lane. Thresh Lantern just to get them under to safety as, yeah, looks like it's going to be an ARAM with all 5 champions hanging around this mid wave.
Yeah. I mean, Acel should be level 16 pretty soon, which is definitely a good win con to play for, especially because he does have Sky's Descent ready. So the
Mm.
ult this next fight is just going to nuke. It's going to hit so many things. It's going to do so much.
Yeah, and remember, they did use it in the last fight, but they burned the Thresh Flash as well as the Wukong Flash. So now in this fight, Wukong no Flash, Diana no Flash,
Yeah.
Yunara no
They
Flash,
actually,
so
yeah, they have not a single flash compared to Braum having flat. Like pretty much
everyone
everyone is
except
flash
for
except for the Kled and the Zehen.
yeah,
But everyone else, the util carries, like
all the
or
damage is
both carries,
essentially, they
yeah,
have Flash and mobility. So, yeah,
they're ready to
as
go for this next fight.
I
And
mean,
the
looking to catch the
I don't
Mundo,
know
but
about
going into
flying the
melee
Mundo
range there
melee
as
range.
the Aurelion Soul, not the smartest idea. I mean, ult
Oh,
comes down
Sky's
onto one
descending
target. I
this
don't know
too.
if it was necessary, but I mean, yeah, Foreman is able to kill
I'm
up
not
that
sure how I
Mundo.
feel about that. I think it could have been played a lot cleaner. I think if it got played a little bit better, it'd definitely be Baron.
I mean, I still think they're going to
And
force it
you wouldn't
anyway
even,
here.
I mean, probably can still do Baron. Wouldn't have to TP for it though. Wouldn't have to Sky's Descend for it either.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see a way where they can really contest this unless the Wukong's just going to go for a W over, try and steal something. Braum is trying to block the way there. Nice ult, secure it.
Yep. No, that was a good Braum ult.
And yeah, I think this, I mean, they've just been playing this really, really cleanly.
Yeah,
For the side
relatively.
yeah. I mean, on the other side, I think that SK2 has, like, they do have their win conditions. I mean, this Diana, if you can get onto the MF, get onto the Aurelion Soul, you're going to do a whole bunch of damage. This Mundo is a big tank in the front line, as well as this Wukong Engage. I think it's just going to be about trying to give your Yunara as many resources as possible when in these sort of level states.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, this Mundo is monstrous enough that he can kind of one-shot people right now. He does have 3 items. He
yeah,
does a lot of damage right now.
if you fly melee range into the Mundo, then he will get you. That's for certain.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a little shocked to see him on the Acel. This game, I don't think his Acel's as good as some of his other champions. I think I've seen him making a couple mistakes that I don't think normally I'd see him make if he was playing on some of his better champions.
yeah, I'm not quite sure what he would play this match. Remember, the Akali was banned, and he plays a lot of his AD champions with his Zehen jungle. I'm not too sure
Hmm.
what he would opt to play here in the mid lane.
Well, I definitely, like, I've seen him, like, I think he played Ari yesterday. He did pretty well in the Ari.
Yep, Ari was
If
banned
he's familiar.
against him this series.
Hmm?
Ari was banned against him this series, so it was
They
taken away
did?
from him. The Ari ban.
I've seen him play Vex too. It's also not a bad Vex game.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Vex here actually, especially with the dashes around from Zehen as well as the, well, not as up often, but the Braum dash. I think ulting straight onto the face of the Yunara is quite effective.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at this point, I think the gold lead isn't as big as, like, you'd think it would be with, like, the Baron and Drake Soul. It's not that bad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Mundo
Still
here
huge.
might be caught in the mid lane. 3 people here. He's gonna pop the ghost and try and run out, but the
I
other
mean, his
two
ult is
follow,
gonna.
and then yeah, it's gonna go down.
Thank God they had anti-heal, because he would have went to full HP instantly. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
His ult
Mundo's
gets amped by the more enemies that are close to him, and with that many, he just would have
he
went
would have beefed
insane
up.
there.
Yeah, so Thresh
Oh,
might
and then
be out of
Thresh
position
also just ends
here.
up getting caught on the mid lane.
Yeah, flashes to try and get out, but just followed there by the Zehen dash and the movement speed
That's
of
a
MF.
crazy Aurelion Soul ult.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. He was thinking the Wukong maybe might have DC'd there instead of it being cloned. I'm not too sure, but I mean I don't think it matters too much at this point. I think they are in a demanding lead, so we'll have to see if they are wanting to end this out or prolong it to play for some sort of Elder fight. Looks like they're opting for the latter. Elder up in about 45 seconds, so trying to get that reset in to get Vision down and play for it. On the other side, I think it's just going to be, you're flipping Elder at this point for both
Yeah,
teams.
I mean,
So
I think typically I wouldn't really opt to flip the Elder. Um,
you absolutely
I
don't
think
need
it's
to
just
as
like
Gap right
super
now.
super risky to
Yeah,
do. But I mean, I guess if they want to play the long game, it's like not the worst thing in the world. And at the end of the day, they're so strong. I think they could maybe even beat Red Side, even if Red Side had Elder
yeah. Oh,
partway
Diana
through
here
the
needs to
fight.
run here. You can't be pressuring that wave, especially if they're in your your bot side jungle.
Thankfully, I don't think she'll be caught. Zahen actually might be caught.
Oh,
He's
leaps
gonna
into
get
the
his
middle.
passive out here.
MF ult it just goes between the champs, unfortunately, but still just a lot of damage to the Wukong. As, yeah, MF super strong is just going to take down both the Wukong and the Yunara. Aurelion still is going to finish up the Mundo, and then a triple kill going over to the MF as she finishes up the Thresh.
Yeah,
One
this Zahen
person alive,
champion
it's
is
the Diana.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well played by blue side, but Loki just ran into 5 people and then got a revive. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was, I mean, he did Zehen things. That's how you play
Yeah.
Zehen. As Big Ult comes down, Hourglass goes down, but it's just going to be,
Yeah, I mean, well played.
yeah,
It
GG
was
to
like
the
a
side of,
slow, steady game. They were confident in their ability to win early and then maintain it. Very little mistakes, and the mistakes that they made didn't really matter anyways. So honestly, well played to Gapplebees.
yeah, 100%. I mean, they knew their win conditions. They played really well through that misfortune early. They pulled down their jungler and they played on the Zehen once he got fed. Top lane, I'm not sure what they were thinking in the top lane. Maybe just wanted to pick something that was stable for their top laner. But yeah, they just played really well through the bot side and was able to pull it a victory.
Yeah, I respect it. I think it's like rare to see a team that performs well in all 3 stages of the game. I think they played overall a clean game where they won early, they transitioned it well, and they were able to pull off a pretty clean win.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Gapplebees won the first game. No one voted in the prediction. Very sad 0 channel points spent. So hopefully you guys chuck in some for game number 2. Makes it a little more interesting to put something on the line, even if it is just imaginary internet points.
Do you happen to know if Shyvana will also be banned next weekend, if that's been confirmed?
I'm not sure at the moment. I believe there was the ban for this weekend, just so people could get used to Shyvana and try her out. And then I think that the decision will be made depending on whether or not it's ban, or not ban, but like hotfix necessary. Like if Shyvana's win
Yeah,
rate is still insanely high, then I think that the ban will continue. If it drops down to reasonable levels, then I believe that Shyvana will be allowed in the third week.
I,
Or sorry, second week.
yeah, I think after the hot fixes, she's at like a 44. I don't think it's too high right now.
I mean, if it's if it's a 44%, I don't see why. She wouldn't be banned if teams have had the
Yeah.
chance to practice and play her, but we'll have to see what the decision is between the admins for week number 2.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if it was confirmed yet or not.
Yeah, not confirmed yet, but I would like to see at least one Shyvana game in the LEPL season 3 before it's out.
Yeah. Definitely will be available after the Easter weekend for sure.
Yep, that makes
Just
sense.
discussing about next week, I guess. Interested to see what these teams are gonna pull out in this next game because I mean, like, you see the Thresh, which is like obviously his highest mastery. It's like his most played and his most comfortable, and then you lose that game. That probably hurts the mental a little bit.
Yeah,
So hopefully
absolutely.
they're able to like reset and like bounce back after that and like play a play a cleaner game this time. Like I don't think they necessarily played bad. I think it was just minor mistakes and I think it's all fixable in time for this next game to bring us to a 3-game series.
Yeah, I mean, it might just be like again nerves of starting a game and being like, okay, well, this is we got to play for real. It is different than scrims, but it's your first game. Just breathe and be like, hey,
Yeah.
we still got another game to go. Can make it 3. Can pull off the 2 victories in a row. It's not the most difficult thing in the world. So just keep your mental up and then go for it.
Yeah,
As
for
a
sure. It can definitely be a lot, especially for some of these newer players.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we're just waiting for players to get back into lobby. Usually they take a couple minutes of a break between games to discuss with their teams and get an idea of what they want to do going into the second draft. Hopefully we won't be too long before we get into game or the draft for game number 2. Just waiting on one of the teams before the draft starts up. So we get into the draft for game number 2. I assume we're going to see very similar bans as game number one. That Akali, that Yone being banned out, maybe the
I actually
Darius.
think the bans could be very different here because I played versus Seals Kids yesterday actually, and they switched bans pretty much every single game. I
Oh,
think
interesting.
there was different bans each game, so I think they kind of have general draft plans, and they'll switch bans based off that. But that could have also just been yesterday.
True. I mean, we do see the Darius and Corki being banned again, which makes sense. These are sort of strong champions for both of their higher, not higher, the top lane player for the Darius, and then their bot lane for the Corki, as same as last time Urgot coming through, as well as the Akali. Maybe it's going to be a change over the three ban here for SK2, as they're just going to run it exactly back. Well, all
Hey,
right.
I respect it. I was hoping to see some different things and shake things up, but it is what it is.
Yeah, maybe they're just looking for a response from Gap. Gap's won, and they've taken a lot of power picks to the table, so maybe now they're just waiting to see what they have in store. As the same thing again with the new 2026 competitive draft changes. It is now the losing side gets priority, so they can either choose the side they start, blue or red, or the pick order, first or second.
And the
So
volley bear
SK2
pick.
picked up first. Interesting.
Okay, so I think they also slammed this pick yesterday, if I remember correctly.
I
Pretty
mean,
sure
I assume it's a flex
they,
between the top and jungle here.
yeah, I think so. I think it's probably going jungle, but I know Volibear jungle's actually not too strong right now after the changes they made recently. Just with all like the nerfs and the adjustments, like the champ's been through so much.
Yeah.
And then a Zac pick.
Ooh, I love to
Okay.
see a Zac.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think there's too many Zac players. This could, in theory, also be a flex.
Yeah, I have come up with some Zac mids in some of my games, and it's a strong pick, especially in the right matchups.
I meant particularly Zac top, but
Well, it's Zac
that
top
could
as
be Zac
well.
mid
Hey,
too.
maybe even a Zac support, right? Like who knows? They could be cooking with
Could
this
be Zac
draft.
AD carry. You never know.
I think the one downside here for Lilico is that they don't play any
Caitlyn.
EPCs. They just play like that, the pure ADCs like a Caitlyn.
Okay, I think Caitlyn's actually interesting. I kind of like it in the Wally Bear because like you just outrange it so much and you can kind of just shoot him. He can't even really do anything to you if you space correctly. But like it's kind of a different goal from what the Zac wants to do, which is to like dive pretty heavy.
Yeah,
So I think that's like an interesting choice. Like it's like you draft a dive and then you draft a poke champ. Granted, you can also use Zac's kit to peel really hard. And then we see the Ezreal come out. I don't know how I feel about the Ezreal. I think some people are confident that it's a pretty good pick right now. I personally am under the impression that if you're good enough to play Ezreal in this tournament, you probably should not be playing Ezreal because the champ just struggles to carry so much. Um, I think the champ just lacks a little bit of damage when stuff with some health starts standing in front of it. Like when the Zac is diving, like you're gonna be able. Oh, and then Rise. Okay, damage problem solved instantly.
yeah. That's. I mean, I was gonna say Ezreal. I like the Ezreal pickup if you don't really know what direction you're going. He can be played a lot of different ways. But with the Rise Slam,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that's just boom. There, you know what you're playing for. Your Rise Volley, and then Ezreal's just there to, stay in lane, land the CS, and then
Mhm.
assist in team fights.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a pretty. Oh, and then Yasuo comes out. Okay,
Oh, this is gonna be a good match
this
for the
is
mid
gonna be
lane.
a volatile mid lane match. Two of their better champions. I'm excited to see it. Oh, and then Ornband. Okay, I don't know if I like the Ornband very much though,
You do have the
because
Wind Wall as
you
Yasuo.
yeah,
Yeah,
you have Yasuo, you Loki can turn his champion off. Disconnect it from the game.
yeah. Maybe
But
they don't want another
I'll respect
strong
it because
tank.
I will say Ornn being in a game is a little bit scary. Played versus it yesterday and he didn't do a whole lot early in the game, but just the ability for him to just scale up and give his team items, it's just scary. Like when you're looking at the enemy Jinx and they have like the same items as your carry, but then they also have one that just has an extra like 30 AD, that's scary.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the
And
tankiness and the
then
upgrades that he gives, and it just if you're scaling comp, you love an Ornn. It's going to give
yeah,
you a
it can
guaranteed
be
value if you can get to those later levels.
a major headache if you're not careful.
Yep, as the Lux ban coming down. Interesting. Trying to take away the Caitlyn Lux. Although I don't know.
I'm pretty sure Shawarma's playing, is he not? This seems like a crazy Lux ban.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand it because it's of course the combo, the Caitlyn Lux combo, but I don't know if it's these players' strength.
Maybe their scouting is just like not all there, but you know what? I'll respect it anyways. And then the cannon ban too.
You're
I wonder
really
if they're
worried about this
blinding
cannon
top
ban
here.
here for the top laner. He has been playing it a whole bunch, but I'm not too sure. Maybe they think it's too much of a team fighter. As
Ooh,
yep,
Blitzcrank.
that's what I expected from
Uh,
Shawarma. There's the
can't
blitz.
Ezreal just buffer Blitzcrank's hook, or am I
Yes.
like thinking of it the other way? Yeah, so I don't know how much I like that. Because you're like, it could be really hard to play Blitzcrank here, I think. Because
I
like once
think
you get into the later game and stuff too, hooking some of their champs can be pretty hard.
I was gonna say I think I like the idea of comfort, but I don't know yet who you'd be hooking because you pull the Rise in, boom, Rise is right in front of everyone. You pull the Volibear and you pull the Aatrox in. Like these are champs that would love that actually. I think this is the secret six man for the side of SK2.
Yep. This is like when people are talking about someone page forma, this is what they're talking about. Then Nautilus comes out. I think it's a pretty interesting draft. I think they're gonna be able to play either side well. And then Swain top
Swain
question
top
mark?
into the Aatrox, just something to neutralize maybe, but I feel like it's not the strongest into Aatrox. It's not as tanky as you need to be to survive if you get full comboed.
I think if the Swain can harass the Aatrox a little bit early, it can be pretty good here. Um, because until the Rise gets like 3 or 4 items, he'll kind of struggle to deal with enough damage to kill the Swain. And so then in some of these team fights, when everything's getting really chaotic, you're gonna have the Swain who's just kind of sitting there, draining everything, killing everything. Um, and then like if you don't have the damage for him once the fight's almost over, then like he'll just sit there and just win. He'll just win out the fight just because
Yeah,
you just don't have damage for him.
yep, makes sense. I mean, that being said, I don't, based on how last game went, I don't doubt the ability of SK2's top laner Seal to like get a lead. So
Yeah,
I
that's
would
true. I
be
will say, if this Swain doesn't play the lane super well, I think the Aatrox could kind of just beat him up the whole
yeah.
time.
I mean, I'm gonna be looking especially towards this jungle Zac and what it can do, as well as this Yasuo mid lane. Because if the Yasuo can take
Yeah.
over and bully the Rise early and start to create a lead there in the mid lane, especially with the Zac coming in over the wall, jumping on top of the Rise, makes the game very, very unfun. As a slight pause, as some players just need a couple minutes before we start. We'll be getting into game two very, very shortly, as I will remember now to make sure to put up the prediction. So please do the prediction. Vote some points on it, even if it's just one. Makes me feel good if someone gets a point out of winning. Oh, Areo in chat says that Shawarma does have Lux games, so they were scouting deep and saw the possibility there. Interesting,
Fair
interesting.
enough. If you're scared of Swarmalux, respect it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, after how they played last game with the Braum, I can definitely see why you might be a little worried. Again, just a reminder for people in Twitch chat, this is on a 3 minute delay, um, just for the broadcast sake, so that there is no concerns over the stream or anyone watching it during the games. Hopefully that's all right. We will be reading your comments, but they will be like 3 minutes late for you. So just hang in there. We'll get to you eventually. As Paradox is pointing out, that Blitz has point and click knockup for the Yasuo. While that does make sense, I also feel that Yasuo has the Zac, has his own Q3, and there are other supports like a Rakan. Maybe I would have enjoyed, especially into all the melee champions like the Volley Bear, the
Yeah.
Aatrox Nautilus, and the short range Rise. But it might just be again the comfort there for
Yeah, no, I
Savage
agree.
Pharma.
I think like Comfort's like pretty good. I don't know if I've ever seen him play the
Rakan?
Rakan too much. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think I've seen him play like Alistar, which I think would have been pretty good here.
Yeah, I could like an alley
Um,
here.
wouldn't mind an alley. I think even I'd prefer Nautilus over the Blitzcrank, which I've also seen him play. But I respect it if he feels like he can play.
Absolutely. I mean, wow. Okay, well now, yeah, submissions coming through here for the points, and thank you everyone for voting because now we have 1K points on SK2 to the only 100 points for Gap. So hey, you could be winning big as a Gap fan right now.
Yeah, bro, I'm the Gap fan, and I'm gonna be winning big.
You have trust in this Blitzcrank, Caitlin. You trust in the Swain top.
You know, I'm actually looking at it. I don't even know if it's Swain is low-key good into Rise, and Yasuo's good into Aatrox.
I wouldn't mind if they swapped. Um,
So they could be swapping.
I'll just have to see what they end up choosing here. Although I don't know if I don't know how about they would want to swap it if they do. If they want to just send Donnie up to the top lane and have Guarin go mid, or the other way around if they actually want to swap champions. But we will see
No,
as
I
we.
think their champs definitely are staying the same. Like Guaran's definitely playing Swain, Donnie's definitely playing Yasuo. I think they should swap lanes though. I definitely think Yasuo should go in the top lane.
Makes sense. Well, we get into game number two of Gap
And
versus
that's not what's
SK2.
gonna happen. He's actually gonna take Azra Swain, which is pretty interesting.
Huh. Now that's not really what I'd expect, especially if you're trying to bully out an Aatrox. You know, you might want to take the Airy there, just for that extra
Yeah,
bit
I
of damage.
definitely yeah, I think you could opt for Area Conquer. The only problem I really have with Area is that if he takes Door and Shield and Second Wind, you can't really kill him with it.
That is true. Although I think the goal here is just to survive the lane phase. If Aatrox doesn't get ahead, then of course you can. He's not super tanky, especially if he doesn't have his ult up. So I think neutralizing the lane would be an idea of how they want to play, especially if they're playing for their bot lane here. But we'll have to see how this
Yeah, that's true.
game plays out. As TPs on both mid laners, so no big ignite plays happening early. Unfortunate, I know we both wanted it, and exhaust on both supports. Interesting.
He actually opts for the Door and Shield as well. A little bit interesting. I definitely was hoping he'd play more aggressive on the Yasuo. I kind of wanted to see something, you know? I mean, it's one of his best
To show off a
champions.
little bit.
Yeah, like one of his best champions. Just take E start. Just E on the Rise head. Just fight him.
Yeah, honestly, I think starting off early, always love to see some action in LEPL. As
Oh,
ooh,
that was a
nice
really good
blitzcrank.
hook.
Yeah, oh, that was really big, and I think exhaust goes down. This might just be a kill going over to the Kalen super early.
Wow. Kill. Yeah, kill already.
I mean,
I think they're gonna trade 1 for 1 unless. Oh, Blitzcrank backs off perfectly.
down. I
Ooh, good
mean,
dodge.
okay, color me
Oh, and
impressed.
then
Pharma is
yeah,
playing
do
all
some
these
big
early
trading in
lanes
the mid
really, really
lane.
well.
Dodges the Q. Oh, dodges another Q.
He's dodging, and the Rise can just auto.
Yeah, no, I think it's actually interesting that the Rise and then some decent trading in top lane too. I think it's interesting Rise decided not to run bone plating in this matchup. He also looks really squishy. He didn't go with Doran's item,
He went
and he's
tier.
really
Like
low.
he,
Yeah, he has to be a little bit careful because tier's like fine if you're not gonna be punished, but you can get punished in this matchup if
oh,
you don't run a
absolutely.
Doran's item or bone plating.
But if you get rooted under tower, then that kind of takes away all the advantage you had brought there in the mid lane.
Wow, I'm liking this game so far. There's a lot of heavy trading in lanes, but there's actually already like an 800 gold lead almost. for
Yeah, the early kill by the Caitlyn.
6K. I guess waves are crashing and people are catching stuff. There's probably about a
Oh,
500
it's, yeah,
gold.
that's not what you want there, that hook, as
Yeah, that's
the
not a great
reverse
hook.
exhaust comes down and kill goes over
No.
to the Nautilus.
Yeah, I
As, oh,
think.
Flash comes through from Seal in the top
Oh,
lane as well as Ignite. Flash
you
in
gonna die from
return
that?
from the Swain lives on a
22
sliver of health.
HP.
Wow.
22 HP. No, I think it was a little bit greedy from the bot side to stay there for that long. Zac is walking up to take a look mid here.
Yeah, I mean,
His E doesn't go that
volleys
far though.
as nice, yeah.
Well,
Well
he
played in the mid lane.
greeted his flash. That was crazy.
Oh, as Blitzcrank hook, sometimes you fall into the pattern if you miss a hook, and it can be hard to get back on your rhythm here. As,
Caitlin's low-key dying
oh,
from minions. Oh, that was a good
nice
flash actually.
flash.
Yeah, I like that. She autoed the minion to get her headshot charged, and then she flashed and one-shot that guy. He had barrier, the Ezreal, and just didn't react in time.
Yeah, he
Well
wasn't
played.
expecting to have to use it. So
Oh,
nice element of
unlucky
surprise.
that that hook misses. I'm liking this game so far.
Yeah, this is an exciting game. Like I'm kind of glued to my screen
Yeah,
right now. I don't know what to
Caitlyn
expect
hasn't gotten a
next.
base off. It's unfortunate that their wave is kind of stuck in this position.
Yeah, I mean, at some point you kind of just have to. If they're playing well,
Yeah,
they'll
they
just
definitely do
punish you
have to
for it.
base here.
Yeah.
Volley tried to gank, but Loki also has 5 dashes. Can't do anything.
Yeah, Ghost comes down out of the
Ghost is
Swain.
going to get forced out. It's pretty bad. Swain has no movement sums anymore.
Yeah, it's hard burning that Ghost early, especially into the Aatrox lane, which you pick this
Yeah, it's
counter
like
matchup
it's
into.
really, really important for him here. Having both the Ghost and the Flash, and now he doesn't have either, can be pretty hard.
Yeah, you can definitely see that. As I mean, winning on the other side for Gap, the bot side is pushed in. I mean, this is kind of a great spot to be as a Blitzcrank because you can just pull them out from the safety of their tower.
Yeah, it's not bad. And, like, you can
As,
pull them
oh,
out from the safety of their turret, and Caitlyn can kind of just poke them out from under their turret.
yeah. Still a lot of heavy
It's kind
trading
of a
going on the top
lose-lose.
side here. No TP on the other side, so it's sort of like a war of attrition on who's forced to back first here.
Yep, Seal's doing a good job at holding the wave, but he is dead to a single Swain combo if Swain can land it.
Yeah, both champs now do have ults, although Swain does not have enough mana for a full combo with ult.
Yep, no. And then Volley's hovering. Swain's just gonna have to cut his losses, take a base here. Wave state's bad, but can't do
Yeah.
much.
At some point, you just have to say, look, I can't do much anymore. So I'm going to take the base,
Yeah,
going to
that is
lose.
the benefit of playing a resourceless champion like Aatrox.
Yeah. As, oh, knock-up hits does not want to go in.
Ooh.
I think that definitely could have tried something. Nice hook there by the Nautilus. Finding that Blitzcrank there. Lots of damage down onto the Caitlyn. But the Ezreal, yeah, gets hooked right into
Ooh.
a trap. Exhaust goes down. That's just going to be a kill going
You know
over to the
what?
side of the Caitlyn.
I doubted this Blitzcrank pick, but it's
Not
fire.
anymore.
This
Like,
guy's hooking everything.
yeah, he's hooking us matter, and I love the combo between them. You stand in front of the Caitlyn trap, you pull them into you, and they land on the Caitlyn trap. Then as
Yeah,
soon
I
as
actually
they are
like
out of
that.
them, you
That's
can knock them
really
up.
well played.
So,
Yeah.
damn, they're pulling off combos I didn't even know existed. This is they were practicing for this one. As caught up and exposed the Q3 there. Just the pullback from
Honestly,
the
really,
Aatrox.
really good trade for the Aatrox, even though he's down a level. It's
Yeah, I
kind of just
mean,
how it goes when you're playing a mage champion and you're not landing your spells.
yep. I
Honestly,
mean,
I don't even know if this matchup's good for the Swain. I feel like on paper it doesn't sound that great.
no, I don't think it's excellent. I think it's something that you play to neutralize, and then you play that either poke to poke them out or super tanky. But I feel like with uh, the fleet, it's it's like you're not getting any of either world there. You're not super tanky, but you also don't do a whole bunch of poke damage.
Yeah. Phase Rush is maybe good if you can use the move speed to dodge things, and then you're inherently tankier that way.
Hmm.
But not really doing that too much. Donnie's playing really well on trading on some of these timers, like right before the volley bear gets to mid lane.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
then like he can't really do anything and he's just trading positive.
yeah, I mean, I like
But the
how
Rise does have
Donnie is.
Catalyst now and that item is just
Ooh,
broken.
yeah. No more killing it, or no more killing this Rise anymore with Catalyst. But I like how Donnie's moving around the map because was able to get the advantage in the mid lane, able to head on bot and get the kill on the bot lane.
Yeah,
I
this is kind of what I was talking about when I said the mid jungle duo can kind of just run the game. But this bot lane has done a really good job at just getting themselves ahead.
Yeah,
Mid jungle being there is just kind of a bonus at this point.
yeah. I mean that just frees that mid jungle to look for other plays like prioing objectives. They did get the first Drake that came up, and looking towards the top side here
Not
where
looking great for this swing here.
nope, it's oh nice
Does have both
flash
of
away,
his
but I don't think it's gonna amount to much as fighting in both top and bot. Rise all up to the top side. Knock up onto the Swain, gonna go down as his bot side still playing. Nice flash to block the Caitlyn ultimate there from the Nautilus, but the range difference from the Caitlyn and Ezreal means it's gonna be very, very hard for this Ezreal to do any damage
Oh, and then
here.
the flash comes out.
Oh,
Oh, but oh,
nice
that was a
Q
really good
though,
cue.
and
Ooh.
flash ultimate just to get the kill. That's wow.
Okay.
Yeah,
You know
tons
what?
of trading there. I mean, hey,
I mean, honestly, I think that's way better for Red Side. They get a shutdown on the Caitlyn. They get Blitzcrank Flash, which is actually a big deal. That champ without Flash is a little harder to play, even though he still has Hex Flash. And then they also get the kill on the Swain and then the Grubs too.
yeah, like I think the bot lane play was a little hard just because I knew they were making a play from the top side, so playing the bot lane was very risky. But hey, they made it out, and that stray
Yeah.
Ezreal Q just managed to hit that Caitlyn as she netted backwards, and that made all
Yep.
the difference.
No, it's really. I think that's really lucky. I think it could have panned out a lot worse for Red Side there, but
Absolutely, I think if
ended
Caitlyn
up
had,
bringing them back into the game. I think.
yeah, if Caitlyn had
And
flagged
Volibear is
backwards,
still
then
top side,
oh,
and
ult
he's
comes
just
down.
gonna live
Stun's
on
gonna go
this.
down as well into the Q3. I think it's gonna be a
Phase Rush
GG
pops.
here
I don't
for
know.
the
It does not matter.
Swain.
I'd have to rewatch that and figure out how that Volibear managed to clear in a way that he was still top side.
I have no idea. I think he may have just skipped his respawning camps, just gone straight to topside, maybe. There's a
Yeah,
call from the top laner to try and play
yeah,
something.
no, I think he skipped his Krugs and then walked back to do his Krugs and then went back top after doing Grubs.
Mm.
It's like a little weird. I'm
Some
not sure I'm a
creative
big fan of the
pathing.
sequence. Yeah, it's pretty creative pathing.
As a second dragon gonna come up here in just over 30 seconds, a play on a mid lane with the Zac. Nice combo into the ultimate from the
Oh, that was
Yasuo.
a good flash, actually.
But yeah, avoids the knockup and now is able to run the movement
Speaking
speed
of
from the
creative
plant.
pathing, W flash.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, they have now the movement speed from the plant as Volibear is showing bot side.
Oh, hook those balls.
Oh,
Oh
ults right
no.
in the middle of terrain doesn't actually get over it. That's going to be really rough, especially using it right before the Herald, or sorry, Dragon fight.
That is pretty bad. That's tragic. No volley barrels for Dragon Fight can be pretty hard.
I guess, oh, big hook coming over here from the Nautilus. Nice ultimate to hit them both, as it's hard for Ezreal now to get in and do any damage just because the minion wave is going to block all of his Qs. The exhaust does go down onto him, and the Caitlyn is able to clean up both the kills. I think
Yeah.
that's one of the downsides of playing the Ezreal, especially if you are playing someone like a Nautilus who goes in, is if you go into a minion wave, then it's very hard to hit any of your Q damage. You're just auto-attacking. Looks like the dragon's going to go over to the side of Gap. But Volley is in the area. Maybe looking for a steal, but very, very hard to contest,
Ollie
especially with the
can
Yasuo.
outsmite if he times his E correctly, but generally Zac is going to have a better smite with his W.
Makes sense. As, I mean, same story as last game. I think that, yeah, Lilico is just getting ahead in this bot lane matchup, and it's not going poorly for any of the other lanes, but I think that this lead is just, it's very hard to come back from, especially if there's not a great way to get
Yeah.
on top of this Caitlyn. Hopefully this Nautilus ult will make the difference in some of these team fights later, though, as Flash comes through for Q3. That's going to be a third kill going over to the Aatrox.
I will say, I don't know that that's necessarily worth it for the Aatrox. Swain really isn't worth that much
This,
anymore. Be using everything on him like that.
yep,
That is
nice.
a crazy Caitlyn ult. I do not know how that connected on Ezreal.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
looked weird.
that was a really nice combo from the Blitzcrank, but the Caitlyn wasn't close enough, so it doesn't amount to much. Zach trying to clean up the wave topside. And I do like this. I like how the volley is hovering top now, because bot lane, it's not going so well, but you do have a strong winning matchup in the top lane. 30 CS up, 3
Yeah.
kills up.
Yeah, that's one thing I do like about the red side draft is that they kind of they're able to switch between um kind of strong side and weak side whenever they want.
And yet, Flash comes out for the
That
Yasuo
was a good flash. Yeah, I
to
mean,
get
well
away
played.
from that Nautilus ult. Nice. Shutdowns here onto the Caitlyn and the Yasuo, so trying to pick these up before any fights break out just to get to their item breakpoints. And I do like this here. I like having the Ezreal solo lane while the Nautilus roams, just because the Ezreal, while yes, is into a Blitzcrank, but with his E, he's got a whole bunch of safety and is able to farm safely with his Q from range. So I do like playing with the Nautilus roaming around, and you just catch wave bots and then play off the next timer.
I think also interestingly enough, Ezreal decided to go Essence Reaver first,
Yeah,
which was like a build when like mythics were around, I think. Um,
I think this is the build when
I
you didn't want the mana of I can't remember the name of the mana item, but the AD tier item, because of course
I
it does give
definitely
mana
don't know
back,
if I
but
like that choice very much.
no hard. But I mean, yeah, nice play to get the
Oh,
kill
the
back on
tower
the
shot hit
Blitz.
really hard, and then Ryze ult comes down. If Ryze was able to get a little bit closer, it would have been good, I think.
Yeah,
But he just ends up giving up a lot mid lane for it, and then they don't really get anything for it. It's pretty unfortunate.
as just standing around is that Aatrox just kind of bullying this Swain in the top lane, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I like the Rise ult there, but I would prefer to see the Rise ult like you walk down until you can get like a good angle on the Rise ult, rather than Rise ulting halfway
Yeah,
and walking the rest.
yeah, I
As
agree.
ult goes down for the Aatrox at movement speed, Flash comes down for the Swain trying to clear wave with his own ultimate, as it isn't going to matter. The Q3 coming down is going to secure the 4th kill on top side, while a play is happening down here
Yasuo's
in the Dragon
Bork,
Pit.
he's gonna do so much damage here. This cannot be a fight angle.
Nope, Exhaust comes
Hopefully this
down, but
kill
too
goes
little
on
too
to
late here.
Yasuo.
Oh, even
I
worse
mean,
onto
Caitlyn's not
Caitlyn.
bad.
I mean, that might be enough
I
to
would like
push her
to
over
see a
to
little bit of
IE
gold
here.
spread between those two, though.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing I will say, though, is that this team, both their carries are heavy auto attack champions. So
Yep,
I'm
and they're
looking to,
crit too. So Tabby's Randuin's can be like a huge pickup.
yeah, looking towards this volley. And yes, it's not your normal build path if you're building the normal bruiser volley, but I'd like to see them adapt and try and pull out some armor here just to survive that initial burst, especially. Oh,
Oh wow,
great combo there. Nice
that
pull
guy's
into
just dead.
knockup.
What the hell?
Yeah, into the trap and
No,
then ult to follow up.
Swarm's Blitzcrank is good. I'll be honest. I didn't think that he would do that well. Just picking it into Ezreal like that. Maybe the Ezreal's not that great, but maybe his Blitzcrank's just that good.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, this is Comey. This is a previous season champion ADC. Like this is no summer bumpkin here. Like this is a decent ADC. So that just speaks to how Sharma's playing the series.
Yeah, no, he's definitely playing well.
But I mean, on this top side, the Aatrox doing really well. 4-0, taking top turret, and now looking to extend the lead into other lanes.
Yeah, just gonna have to figure out if that'll be enough here. Like he doesn't have boots yet. He has this problem I've noticed with Seal. Another weakness of his, he thinks boots are just overvalued. It's actually crazy. He just never buys them.
Well, it's preference, I suppose. But yeah, boots are
Like,
helpful chasing down. But with the ultimate, though, I'm not as concerned with his ability to catch or dodge things, especially in a team fight.
oh, and then Hook goes out on the Nautilus.
Yeah, not the prime target.
I don't know why
Zach Q
Caitlyn didn't
misses.
trap it. I feel like that's a kill for sure if Caitlyn puts the trap down.
Yeah, everything here is warded. They have full vision to the red side. Zach's gonna look to cut off
Oh,
this rise here.
Zach goes pretty far, but he's still able to get the Q.
As flash onto this Caitlyn, but it's not gonna
He
be
also
enough.
just
You don't have the
teleports
damage
in,
as
but
the
a little
Volibear.
late. Flame ult
As
comes out.
yeah, I mean
Caitlyn's
Aatrox coming down here, but just knocked up and not able to survive long
good
enough.
Yasuo ult, good Blitzcrank hook.
Like this peel that they have is really great. Like they're just playing really well around their Yasuo timing, and then making sure that no
Yeah,
one can
I
get on
actually
top of the
just saw a
Caitlyn.
Blitzcrank peel. That's crazy. He
You
actually just stood far away from his Caitlyn, and when the Aatrox jumped on it, he just hooked the Aatrox away.
you see something new every
Well
day. I
played.
know there are some players that play Thresh like that. They will stand behind their carries and hook anyone that comes close to them, as opposed to trying to catch people. But I haven't seen a Blitzcrank do it before, so very impressive.
Yeah, no, it's actually well played.
Like I was hoping that that Aatrox would turn things around there. Unfortunately, it didn't have the desired effect. There is still hope here for the side of SKD. It's not over yet. They do have their Rise scaling as well as their Aatrox power is still
Yep.
there. But man, I have to give props to the side of Gap for that team fight. Really well executed.
I mean, like we said, they do have. Oh, Ezreal is going crit. He has Hex Optics.
Oh, interesting. I actually haven't seen this
Yeah,
build
I don't know
before. I
if
don't know if
Komi's
it's
that
good,
comfortable
but
on Ezreal. I don't mean any sort of disrespect, but this build is kind of crazy.
maybe yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're planning to build a LDR for the.
Well, and see, I can definitely understand an LDR, but I don't know if you have to index a whole bunch of crit for the LDR.
I mean, you also have the just the AD armor pen item, which gives slow, and I feel like that is usually what Ezreal builds anyway. So I have to
Yeah.
see.
No, it's definitely a little confusing. I'm not sure how JRich1101 would feel about this. But yeah, no, Randuin's is be really good this game, which is partially why I don't like the Ezreal's build. I think if he's going
Yep, as oh,
like his
just
typical build,
fighting on top side,
I
all
mean,
pop from the
Aatrox is just
Aatrox,
getting his
but I
ass
mean
beat right now.
this.
And they're doing a good job at kiting it out, and no one else is there. So Aatrox is not really buying time for anyone.
Yeah, nice flash away from the
Forces the
knockup,
shield bow
and
to the Yasuo, though, which is not like a terrible cooldown to force, because it makes it a lot harder for him to play for the next 90 seconds.
yeah. I mean that's a consolation prize, I think, if anything, because now they're gonna go for the Baron with the. I don't know if they spotted volley bot side or just are saying we're gonna force it, but yeah, volley out of
They
position
do
here.
see
And
him
then,
now. I definitely think they have to try to contest this. I think they're just doing this because they got the pick on the Aatrox, but the volley is
yes.
finishing this blue buff.
Oh, there you go. Instant knockup lets the
I mean,
Yasuo TP over to perform the ults. And it's going to be a very commanding lead for the side of Gap here in game number 2, 7k up. Now, I mean, they have a lot of shutdowns, does Gap. So I think if
yep. No, there's
SKT
a
or SK2 can find some shutdowns, then they can definitely come back.
yeah, I know. There's a lot of shutdowns for them to pick up. There's a lot of standing gold on the map for them to pick up. Once again, somehow, blue side only has Chemtech Soul to play for, which once again, like it's good on a couple champs, but it's not that great a soul.
Yeah, 2 for 2 here. Caitlyn's going to really love that Chemtech soul.
Just should be grateful it's not something like Infernal Soul. That would be brutal.
Oh, yeah, that would be hard. Or a Hextech soul. Be difficult to play around
Yeah, I
there.
mean, if they get Hextech Soul, all of a sudden your short range comp can't play into the Caitlyn.
Yep. As it dashes on, does the Yasuo has that attack speed, so every moment you are
That is
in auto
crazy
range,
damage.
half health instantly.
That's one thing I like about this matchup is that, like, even though Ryze is a hard scaling battle mage, you have a wind wall to block a lot of his damage, and you buy Bork to deal with the health that he builds.
Yeah, because he doesn't really build like armor unless he's indexing into something like a.
Not apart from the boots that he has, and like sometimes Hourglass, he doesn't really buy armor.
Yeah, as I mean, there you go. Zach jump over the wall into the Yasuo ultimate, easy as.
Yeah, he's just evaporated, and then like, oh, they're gonna look to make a play on.
Oh, I like this play on the
Caitlyn
Caitlyn.
has-
That's a good Nautilus ult as well as the
She's not
exhaust.
flash yet.
Ult behind, but yeah,
Oh, and
this Ezreal
Aatrox is there. Her flash is coming back up soon. Oh,
double kill towards the Volibear.
Don't know if I like those kills going over to Volibear. I think that actually makes the game harder than it does easier because your Volibear is going to be stronger, but I don't think that's a win condition that you can play for.
No, I mean, happy to take the kills, but yeah, definitely would prefer them to go over to something like the Ezreal there, or
All
even
right,
the
and I
Aatrox.
am reading chat. It looks like people are not a fan of the fact that Aatrox is taking so long to buy boots. They're also not a fan of Komi's build either. Aatrox also still doesn't have boots completed. Still working on the tabbies.
Is this who's the expert chiming in chat for the ADC? Does that happen to be
Comical is the one talking about the boots in the Aatrox build because he doesn't like Eclipse very much, and J Rich is the one talking
Yep.
about the build.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. No, I mean it's I haven't seen many
This Drake
Ezreals.
seems hard to play, I think, for the red side because I mean, like they're down a lot, but they also have no ults.
Yeah, it's just gonna be the big thing. You have no engage right now, and then this Blitzcrank can just kind of walk up and it's gonna knock up this Nautilus, and yeah, Windwall, any other support coming from over the wall. Two men,
Oh,
Yasuo
big
ultimate.
Yasuo ult comes out on two
Caitlyn's
people,
just hitting
and
over the
yeah,
wall. Yeah,
we'll wipe.
Ezreal is trying to flash, but not really
Oh,
do
he
too much
misses
here.
the Rise ult. That's really sad.
Yeah, and then
He
not
ends up getting
overplay.
out anyways, though.
Nice. That is one thing
And
that
you're gonna
I
get the
do see
Drake.
some of the
You're gonna get
LEPL
the
teams
Soul
do is that they,
here. Bot pushed out.
yeah. One thing I
I think
see.
Red Side just has to play for this Rise, but like even then, it's gonna be pretty hard for the Rise to scale. I think.
Any shutdowns or any gold in the rise that they can get is helpful, but it will just take a whole lot to start to spin the game in their favor. But they do
Yeah,
have
no, I
options
think.
still.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like if this Rise is able to get some of the shutdowns, it's like good. I think. It's just a little hard into the Caitlyn.
Yep. And I definitely think that, like they did in the mid lane play, if they can come in with the Nautilus ultimate into that Volibear ultimate and just combo them, especially if they are caught on a bad recall, then that's an easy way to get the gold in your carry's pockets.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of single target CC. Caitlyn's flash is back
As
up. They
they're
gotta be
forcing
cautious
something,
of that.
they see
Teleport's
the
coming in from
Yasuo there, so they're
behind.
trying to do a 4v5 here.
Nautilus ult goes on Caitlyn. Everyone's just flashing on the Caitlyn's head. She flashes over the wall. Rise runs around.
Yeah, shut down over the
Just barely able
rise.
to find him.
And it's just a huge play
Shut down on him though.
for the side of SKD. Really well played. I guess they
Oh,
thought the Yasuo was stuck
That's
respawn
another
time.
shutdown, not for
Happened.
the Rise though. But Yasuo
Flash stun.
overextends and now he's gonna get killed, I think.
As it goes
Oh,
back in for the ult is bold.
I
The
respect it.
lure. Sometimes you can't resist when you see someone knocked up. You just have to Yasuo ult them, even if you were out.
Exactly. It is what it is. Just gotta click it. Okay, Aatrox boots have been completed. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are really starting to stack armor on that side, which is
Yeah,
good.
yeah, and I mean the gold lead. It's only 5k at 26 minutes, which in reality it's not a lot. It's just all on the Caitlyn. So playing away from this
Yeah,
Caitlyn
if you're able to
or
get the Caitlyn, it's a big deal.
yeah,
I think the gold lead feels like more than that, though, just because there's a lot of gold on Aatrox, and then there's a lot of gold on Caitlyn, and one carry is just better than the other. Like, this Swain is actually really, really far behind right now.
yes, yeah. I mean a level down and you know down 20 CS. It's hasn't been super easy for this Swain, but weathering the storm here.
Yeah. He's just behind on items, but I mean, he's like accepted his role of utility. He's building a Leandries. He has his Rylai's. He has anti-heal, so he's just kind of accepted his role. I can respect that. When their blue side's just gonna look to start this Baron, Swain's pretty far out, but
Yeah, I mean, but
so
Volley's
is
also
like
pretty
Volley and
far.
the Aatrox.
Yeah.
Like this is, yeah, I mean, they just get it, I guess.
Yeah, where's the excitement? Where's the 5-man team fight around the Baron pit? It's just gonna be sweet and simple Baron going over to the side of Sap. Or sorry, not Sap, Gap. There are
There
unfortunately
is
two
no
teams
shut.
with very similar acronyms in the LEPL Season 3.
Yeah. Objective bounty. does go over to red side.
Nice. They're catching up in that gold lead. I think,
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
starting to lessen it a little bit.
yeah, I think playing this long game, trying to get golden carries, slow the game down, look for flips, look for picks on side lanes, and then eventually the gold lead will become negligible because both carries will have the items they need. So then it's just going to be about how they execute the team fight.
Steady.
I do notice
I mean,
though,
if they're able to make it to Elder, they can definitely look for um, a fight, I think. Like, they have enough damage that Elder would give them, like, the perfect amount just to
to win it.
get some resets and get some kills. I mean,
Yeah,
oh, Yasuo he's on a completely different tempo line from everyone else here.
he might be a little caught. The TP does come down. They can root him and they can stun him
Oh,
up.
it's actually Aatrox's teleport. Oh, wow.
Yeah, Flash comes down, but I don't think it's gonna. Oh, but hook the volley
Oh,
right in the
the
middle into the
cavalry's
knockup.
here.
Yeah, Nautilus ult down a little bit too late, unfortunately, as the Aatrox is just gonna be burst down. Can't actually get away from the Zac, and this Caitlyn just free hitting the backline unperturbed. Double kill over the Caitlyn. That's gonna be an ace for the side of
Yeah, I mean, that
Gackleby.
should be game.
Yeah,
I mean,
I like the play there, but I
that was
think
a
it was just
relatively well played game. I think from Gapplebee's. I think they played their first game really, really well. That'll be their second win, I believe, and Seals Kids' 2 second loss.
mm,
Um, I think I'm not totally sure.
I have to double check that. But yeah, man, that was sort of a dominant series there from Gapplebee's.
Yeah, I mean, Gapplebee's looked really strong. They made a couple mistakes in the second game, but I think the first game particularly, they all looked like a strong team.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, like that is just kind of. I'm still kind of in shock because I feel like I expected this series to go on a lot more. There are big nameplates on either side, but to have it be more or less, I don't want to say a stomp, but it was very decisive in how they won their games. Just playing through their bot
Yeah.
lane, playing through their mid lane, and getting the victory that way.
You know, I didn't also point it out when we were highlighting the teams in the beginning, but the reason their name is Seals Kids even to begin with is because of the first one, but the first one was only around because Donnie mentioned Seals Kids after losing the show match. And so now he's getting his revenge from the show match. He's getting the revenge on Mad Lad. He's getting the revenge on Seal. He's back. He's playing better now.
He's in the comeback arc. The glow up. He's winning
Exactly.
the games. Wow. But I mean, yeah, that's why you want to ban the chance people are comfortable on. That's a 9-1 Yasuo at the end of the game. Yikes.
Yeah, played it pretty well. I mean, and his lane phase wasn't even as explosive as I thought it'd be. Like, don't get me wrong, it was definitely a good lane phase, but definitely wasn't as explosive as I thought it'd be. He played the mid game and the late game relatively well too.
Absolutely. Well, it is, I think, time to talk about who do you think the MVP of this series is. And I know who my vote is, but I want to see if you're on the same wavelength here and who you think the MVP should be.
I think, given the flame that he has received recently by people, I think Shawarma is actually the MVP of this series.
I was going to absolutely agree with you. I think that in this bot lane matchup, which was the way that Gapplebees have won both matchups, I think that Sharma played a huge part of it. Not only in playing the Blitzcrank there in that second game to uh like to hook in the Nautilus and the Ezreal, especially into the Caitlyn traps to get them comboed up, but also in the first game with the Braum hitting those Qs, applying passive, using the ultimates really, really well, especially in the mid game fights. So I think I have to agree. I got to give it to Shawarma there for that game, that series. I think he
Yeah,
is
I mean,
the
like, he's been getting fraudulent allegations ever since the last tournament, and he decided enough was enough, and he showed up, and he played well.
absolutely. So I will see if he is available and or wanting to hop in for a quick MVP interview, and then hopefully we can ask him a couple questions.
Hey, he said he's good. I'm going to pull him.
Perfect. Bring him in.
What's up, so?
Yo, what's up,
Howdy.
Shawarma?
So, man, being called a terrorist and then MVP is crazy, bro.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
well,
That's why you got the MVP, bro.
Omega lol.
congratulations on the win against Seals Kids 2 in that pretty dominant 2-0 sweep. How are you
Thank
feeling?
you, thank you. Yo, we're on fire, bro. We locked in.
Yeah, that was a really good series there. I know that you, or at least I know you as someone who plays a whole bunch of hook champions. So like the Thresh, which you have a bunch of mastery on, the Nautilus, the Blitzcrank. What made you pull out the Braum early in game number one?
Those three hook champions, they're just my favorite champions because I like the kid. I like hooking people into like oblivion. But I can play like a lot of supports other than that, man. I never played them in in-houses or in normals games or flex games. Just those are the champions that I enjoy playing most of the time.
Makes sense. So you decided to
So
take them for the
Brom,
team?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I had to. I mean, I didn't know we were second plate that game because I didn't think you guys were doing the LCS draft style, where even if
Yes,
you're
that
To be
was.
outside,
honest,
you're
I
you're
don't know
it
safe.
is
if it
very confusing.
was.
Yeah, I was kind of confused. Like Donnie's like, "Oh, yo, we're first pick, so we just picking. You can just pick there." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, sure." Then I see them pick there. So I'm like, "What's going on, bro?" And then
Yeah,
and
no,
he
it's
told
so
me,
it's so
and then he
confusing.
told me what happened. I was like, "Okay." Then they
Yeah,
just
no,
picked
I had
Brom.
the
Like
same
I,
problem yesterday. No, it's
yeah,
crazy.
we were a bit confused in draft. I'm like, "Oh, okay." But then, I mean, Braum is one of my picks too. I play like a lot of champions like Karma, Seraphine, Pike, Gragas, J4 support, also
Oh,
TF. You know, and I can you some. I mean, my teammates don't want me to play TF support, but hey,
I've
the
seen
point and
AP
click's done.
Gangplank support too, actually. Looks pretty good.
yeah, yeah,
Nice. In this matchup, you were versing some former champions from the LEPL season two. Was your team worried about this at all because they had victories in the past? What were your thoughts
okay.
going into them specifically?
Bro, honestly, I don't know Flame. This is like my first time playing with my team. Uh, I didn't even know they were like previous champions or whatever. Uh, but I know Komi. I know she was good. I mean, they banned her Xayah. Oh, I thought we should have banned like Nico or whatever. But it's. I mean, the moment like we started, you can't stop, bro. So if you're if you're cooking, bro, you can't stop cooking, bro, until it's all burned out. So that's
Ah,
what
I
happened,
see.
man.
You can't stop it. You made the meal, and what a meal
Yeah,
that
sir.
was. That
Yeah, I
was
made a
yeah,
buffet, Poppy. It's not just a
a great series. Um, I
yeah,
want to talk a bit about your uh, how you played around your jungler. I think we noticed it a lot in game number two with the Blitzcrank, how you
yeah,
were waiting to engage or pull people onto you and using your ult when your jungler was in the area ready for a dive
yeah,
on with the Zac to combo with, of
yeah,
course, your Yasuo and
yeah.
stuff. How are you feeling playing with, or how are you feeling getting into a rhythm with your team, especially because it is the first week? But
Yeah.
playing with your jungler, playing with your bot lane, how are you feeling getting into that rhythm?
I mean, it was really good. It felt good, especially when I saw. I mean, I picked Blitzcrank. I had the option to pick Nautilus too. I just thought that Blitzcrank would be better here because they have a lot of shields. You know, like Rise with his items, Volibear. There's barrier and all that. But it was. I had to. I can't like start fights in their bot lane. We know like Ezreal and Nautilus. They if they're able to counter a Blitzcrank hook. I don't know, cause like spaghetti code or whatever. But I had to. I can't be the one starting fights unless like their support did a few mistakes here and there, and I just caught him off of them. But normally, I shouldn't be winning that matchup.
Mm.
So I had to like wait for ganks from Zach and whatnot. And if I'm pushing the wave, I have to be somewhere else, especially when the objective is up. So I had to roam a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we did see that, especially towards making plays with your mid lane and jungle. So it looked very clean. Congratulations. It looks like your synergy is increasing. Do you
Yeah.
have any predictions for next week? I believe that you are playing against, I will double check here, but you're playing against Canada Dry next week on a
GP.
Saturday. Any
Yeah.
predictions for that series?
I think it's gonna be super hot, bro. Especially, I mean, I wanted to be on GP's team because of the name. You know, I'm Canadian and he's Canadian and Canada Dry. Would have been just a
Mm,
funny team to be in. But I got my boy Donnie in it, so it's fine. But I think next week's gonna be a super hot match, bro. Especially if
nice.
you're streaming it. A lot of people should queue up to watch the match.
Yeah, it isn't the featured
Yeah, I'm
matchup that
excited
week,
for it.
but I know that I think Eli might be keen to cast that one on the community stream. So I know that some people will be
Yes,
tuning in
sir.
there.
Yeah. I
Before you
mean,
go,
yes.
GP, do you have any other questions for Shawarma?
Oh, I mean, like, well played, bro. You've been catching flame ever since the last LEPL tournament, and then you first two games of this series, bro, you showed up. I mean,
Hey,
I
I mean,
kind of doubted
I
the.
had to.
I saw you pick Blitzcrank into Ezreal, and I'm like, really? But you,
Yeah,
I mean, you played it well. You well played.
I had to beat the terrorist allegations, bro. I had to beat those, bro.
You
Well,
did.
yeah, congratulations. You proved that you are a decent player. Congratulations. It was
Yes,
really well
sir.
done.
All right, thank you, man. Thank
All
you.
right, thanks so much, man. Congratulations on your win, and have a good rest of your day.
You too, bro.
All right,
Peace out.
take care. Take care.
Later.
All right. Well, yeah. Wow, what a series. And yeah, pretty dominant at that. We got a 2-0 for Gapplebees over Seals Kids 2 for our featured matchup of the LEPL Day 2, the regular season. We will be back next week on the Saturday for Day 3 of the regular season, and I believe the featured matchup for that day will be back over in the other division, the Crown Guard division, and it will be between the Ping Spasms and Smashin' and Passin'. So it should be an interesting one for sure. Another shout out before we go for our YouTube channel. All of our VODs as well as our videos are uploaded there, just because, of course, on Twitch they will be removed after 14 days. So if you have missed anything from the beginning of this season, it is up there. Unfortunately, we don't have all the VODs from the LEPL Season 2, but we do have some of the finals games, which are, of course, great to watch. Anything to add before we sign off there, GP?
I mean, like, well played to all the teams who played this weekend. Keep practicing. We got another week of regular season. Everyone's making it to playoffs, so keep playing to improve. Because I think a lot of teams are really close in terms of skill level. I think anyone can really take this tournament with enough practice. So keep it up, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that note, thank you so much for watching the LEPL Day 2 official stream. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys had a good time in chat. Apologies for the delay. It was a little slow to respond, but I have been seeing the messages and it looks like it's a good time. So thanks again for watching. We will see you next week and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.